Hello everybody, welcome to Good Morning Source Gaming. I'm your host, Ace Shadowlink. Apologies for any noises you may hear. It's the 4th of July and it's very busy. I will bring in the other two in a moment. Apologies if you hear shouting as we do around here. Here we go. Moment of truth. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream. Oh my god, we didn't immediately blast the viewers with an ongoing conversation again.
It's this time we were prepped
we
and ready.
Did it. We were ready.
No
the
more,
Good Morning
no more
Source Gaming logo
bursting.
up here. Here we go. Yeah, so this week is a very special edition of Good Morning Source Gaming because we have a very, very special guest with us. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Hyleo. You might remember me from such classics as Source Gaming Charity Stream late 2020 and Pokemon Sword and Shield playthrough with Nintendogs. I've been invited because I'm actually a really, really big Tekken fan, and they felt my expertise would be well, I say expertise. I'm not a professional Tekken player by any means by any stretch of the imagination.
He's a secret member of the Mishima family.
Yes,
that's it.
That's fair. That's fair.
You can see it in the chat. His name is Hyleo Mishima.
Yeah,
very
Jin's
secret
cousin 5 times removed. So yeah, Kazuya is in Smash. Tekken is got more than just a Mii costume, and considering he was Tekken was one of Leo's big wants, and he was even working on the all content script for Tekken as it got announced.
I hope you liked that video, by the way. I put a lot of work into it. He had to cut most of it out, from what I got told.
Yeah, I hope everyone liked it, considering I was working on it until just non-stop, trying to get it out as quickly as possible before Kazuya actually got shown off by Sakurai.
Yeah.
He's out now, so still go watch the video and see how correct or incorrect we were.
I think we were extremely incorrect. We were extremely incorrect.
No, we don't say that. Let them figure it out for themselves. But I guess before we get to that, shall I talk about what we've been playing other than Smash? I guess
I have a lot of things to say.
Okay.
So I'm still in my ongoing journey to conquer the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection for our official Source Gaming review. I finished Sigma 1. Immediately started Sigma 2. Ninja Gaiden 2, and especially Sigma 2, is completely fucking insane. Pretty much any sense of class or seriousness is gone. The game takes itself very seriously, but I can't with winged Robin Atkin Downs over here being very in love with the Statue of Liberty and striking it with lightning and causing a boss fight with the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Ryu walks away from at least 3 explosions during this game. It is
badass.
Very funny. The best moment of the game, the very best, the moment that got me to blitz through the entire game tonight was when Ryu Hayabusa is escaping from a crashing plane. He decides the best course of action is to hop on a sick motorcycle. He gets his companion to shoot the plane open with an RPG. They ride out of the crashing plane with a motorcycle down a mountain. That's already quite silly enough. and then
Michael Bay work on this game.
and then a giant fire turtle comes out of nowhere with no explanation, and you fight it as a boss. And that happens in the span of 10 seconds. It is never explained. There is no reason. It just happens. And I love it. It's oh my god. This game.
I see nothing wrong with this.
No,
there
is nothing wrong with it. That game is incredible.
I have to ask. I kind of interrupted, and I'm sorry for doing that. But I was asking him if Michael Bay was involved in the development of this game.
I do not believe so, but
That's a shame.
I think he has similar.
Taste.
I think they're on the same wavelength. And so I went through all of Ninja Gaiden 2, which is this insane game that is so bonkers and off the wall, but absolutely takes itself completely seriously. So it's like really endearing to a game that actually takes itself very, very seriously and is
not as wild.
Not wild at all. It's trying to be grounded. Ninja Gaiden 3 is the bad kind of mess. Ninja Gaiden 2 is the mess that I revel in. It's the mess that I wouldn't mind having to drudge through and get all covered in it. But Ninja Gaiden 3 is oh god. So I played through the first 2 levels like an hour before this stream. I got stuck on the first boss because I'm stupid and bad at the game. The first boss is really good. The second boss is a fucking giant helicopter that decides when it wants to be invincible. And it has it has a specific attack pattern during the third phase of the fight, where it can just repeatedly cover the entire ground with lasers. And during this, you're being shot by a dozen missiles, and also some people on jetpacks in the air around you. So you cannot absorb anything that is going on. And I died at least 6 times to that shit.
Oh boy.
It has a random chance of just spamming the laser move over and over. And I am not going to talk about that helicopter boss fight during the review because it's such a small note in a bigger problem. But it's, oh my god, it's emblematic of the rest of the game.
Oh no.
Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge is this rushed together apology for the mistake that is the original Ninja Gaiden 3, because people didn't like it, and it kind of spat in the face of the rest of the series.
Okay.
So the original Ninja Gaiden 3 followed in the footsteps of Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, which it made Ninja Gaiden really easy. People didn't like that. People like subjecting themselves to the one and true CBT Gaiden experience. So Razor's Edge, it cranks up the damage that enemies can do to a ridiculous degree, and it does not feel like the entire game was play tested because oh my god. So the final boss, this is not a spoiler because it's literally just I'm explaining a mechanic. In the original game, in order to initiate the second phase of the fight, you have to build up your Ninpo gauge to use an attack. And once you use that Ninpo attack, you enter the next phase. In Razor's Edge, because they introduced more Ninpo attacks, they decided, oh, this very strong one you get at the end of the game, we should make it so that it's harder to use.
What?
It
Why?
is it is double the length of the of what it is in the original game. So you are in that first phase of the boss fight for significantly longer than what feels like is fun.
Oh no. I don't understand the logic behind this. Like, oh, you're at the end of the game, we're gonna give you like this really cool attack, but we're gonna make it obnoxious to use.
I
But
think
also
it's
requirement to
yeah.
use.
I think it's just because like you can use it for the rest of the game too after that. I think.
Mhm.
So because it's the strongest of the four Nimpo attacks you have, it has to be quote unquote balanced. But holy
Sounds like
shit!
bad.
They did not think that through. It should have just stayed the length it was in the original for that boss fight only. Like
Yeah, I want to
that
say
would
that
have been
doesn't
fine.
sound like...
That would have been fine. I so yeah. Currently, I'm trying to recover from shame and embarrassment from how I played Ninja Gaiden 1. I really enjoyed Ninja Gaiden 2 because it's stupid and I love that shit. And Ninja Gaiden 3, very, very good in the moment to moment combat. Very bad everything else. Oh.
Oh boy, that is a descriptor.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm only still on the first one, and that was already started to frustrate me in one particular section in the cathedral, where I just keep dying and having to redo the whole thing again. So I have stopped playing for a little bit. But what I am playing, what I have been playing, I guess, is Mario Golf.
That came out. That's right.
Yes, it did, and I've been playing through the story mode in that game, and it's all right. It's fine. I think a lot of people seem to be acting like it's like this awful thing, like this is a big like letdown of a game, and I kind of get it. I think unlike Mario Tennis Aces, where I feel like even though it had like a lack of content, it had like the best gameplay that the Mario Tennis series has ever had. This one, I can't say it's the best gameplay of any of all the Mario Golf games because there's just like a few weird insertions of RNG. It's like they tried to simplify things, but one of the things they tried to simplify, they just replaced with randomness.
I see.
And so like what it is in previous Mario Golf games, when you have the bar, right, and they've done some cool things with the power bar. Like if you're on like a slope, the power bar curves and it shows you what direction the ball will go based on like the slope angle and stuff like that. And that's pretty neat. It gives you a bit more like information. But what it also does is like in previous games when you were doing power bar, you have to try and time where you press it. And then, the second bar comes up and you have to try and time it and match the exact time of the first one.
Yeah.
And if you can align them both, then you can get like a nice shot and it goes like perfectly straight, regardless, taking into account wind and all that. But in this game, it doesn't do that. So like in this game, you do the first bar like you would in previous Mario Golf games, and then I don't really understand the point of the second bar because like there's no more timing involved. Regardless of what you do when it goes up to the top, it will just randomly assign whether or not it goes straight, left, or right, basically, and what trajectory. And so you just like you could line up like the perfect shot to the goal, to the hole, and then the game will just be like, yeah, but this ball's going to curve to the right, and just completely mess it up. And I just don't get it. I don't understand why it's like this, because previous Mario Golf games weren't like this. And it kind of just takes the the second bar lets you shape your shot with the stick, which is it's fine. It does work. You can it allows you to curve and add spin to the ball. But that because you don't know what the end result's going to be because of the randomness, it's like, okay, the wind is pushing it to the right. I'll try and curve the ball to the left to counterbalance the wind, but also the ball may randomly push it to the right or left, in which case it will go too far one way or the other, or it might go straight, which is what I want it to be. And the fact that you've got no control over that makes it just a bit more annoying than it needed to be. And there are other little things, like just being able to see slopes. You have to go into the sort of weird scanning, which kind of reminds me of the first-person mode in Mario Tennis Aces. You know, they added that mechanic where you jump up and then it goes into first person, you sort of aim where the ball goes. They've basically added that into this game, but it just replaces what was a very simple function in the original, and now forcefully added motion controls and weird aiming to it. It's just odd. But there are some good things to it, like because speed golf is actually really fun, and they've taken into account quite a few parts of it, like the more golf clubs you're carrying with you, the slower you are, because you're obviously carrying more stuff. So you can customize your loadout essentially, and decide what golf clubs you take with you. And I almost wonder if the CPU does that as well, but does it randomly, because there have been some really weird CPU plays. Like the CPU not choosing not to putt and instead constantly try and chip it in. And I almost wonder if there's like a randomness where the CPU doesn't bring a putter with them, or something like that.
I've seen some clips from friends on Twitter of the CPU right in front of the hole, ready to putt it in, perfectly lined up, and then they turn and they shoot next to the hole instead.
Yeah, I've seen that happen in game. It just seems to be random, that like the difficulty. Either they'll make really dumb mistakes like that, or they'll be like perfect.
Yeah, I
try and.
I feel like even if like it's a difficulty thing, the AI shouldn't do that, because that's just so like no one would do that.
Yeah, like there's making the AI easier, like, and then making it hard. Like you should have difficulty, but when it's this obvious, it's like they're throwing a game, which just makes the victory seem a bit hollow if they're all doing it. And yeah, there are some ways of like All Doodles sort of mentioned. Previous Mario Golf games had the strong shots, and that's been taken out in this one. But they have replaced it with half shots, where you can, shoot half the length as you would normally, and make it easier to go shorter distances. But that just seems a bit like, I mean, that's fine, but I don't see why you would have to remove strong shots from that. You've got the power shots, but I'm pretty sure those were in the old games anyway. So what does it matter? Why remove features that were fine from previous Mario Golf games from this one? It's just weird things like that. So, like, I think the modes are pretty cool. Battle Golf has too few courses. They go over, like, instantly. And the adventure mode, so this is something, because I've seen people, like, not be bothered with the adventure mode, and I totally understand that. Mario Golf is really a multiplayer game. But the adventure mode has a bunch of other modes in it that aren't available outside of the adventure mode. Like cross-country golfing, where you have a limited amount of shots, and you have to try and get into like a set number of holes in a set number of shots, but you can tackle the holes in any order you want. So like it's all about plotting your path around all the various golf courses to try and get stuff like into the hole as fast as possible. And that's a pretty cool, even if it's just a single player mode, although you could do it multiplayer. But I just don't understand why it's locked to the adventure mode. It feels like it's something that they'll add in an update for everybody. And the desert, which I'm up to now, that has like a water thing where you can suffer from heat stroke. So you have to try and beat the course as quickly as possible, otherwise you'll pass out.
Excuse me?
Like you get a water bottle and there's like a percentage meter that's just going down. And if you finish however many holes it is, by the time it runs out, I mean, then your character will pass out and fail.
There's a heat stroke mechanic in Mario Golf.
Yeah. Only for the desert level.
Pretty tragic.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
That's what
Toad
I mean.
found dead in the desert. all dried up.
It's you got like you talk to the NPCs like Spike and stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I can't do it. I pass out every time." And Dry Bones is like, "Don't talk to me about hydration." Yeah, they're just like these mechanics in the story mode that just are only in the story mode, and I feel like people don't realize that. It's odd. So I recommend doing the story mode, if not just to have an unfair advantage online as. Because you level up Miis and then you can just use Miis online, and a fully leveled up Mii is broken as all hell. Like they can just hit farther than any other character and run faster than any other character because you can just put all of your stats into power and speed.
Do the Miis have the same customizability as Miitopia?
No.
Tragic.
It just uses the regular. It just uses the regular Mii maker. Miitopias is specifically for me. Also, haven't got there, but Wario and Waluigi showed up and made me go, "Hey, wait." Like, yeah, no, that's another thing, because Wario was just mentioned to me that, like, apparently there's treasure in the desert golf course, and Wario's looking for it. But yeah, like, there's been barely any of the actual playable Mario characters. Charging Chuck and Boo are, like, rivals to you, and so is Toadette, but Toadette's also not playable. DK shows up really early on in the beginning, and periodically Toad will show up, but outside of like the game starts with you watching a golf game with watching the intro cutscene on a TV. Outside of that, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, none of them have shown up in the story mode. I mean, I'll wait and see. Yeah, I'm wondering if there'll be like the final battle will be against Mario, because I feel like that was the case in the old Mario Golf game as well. Like the ones that had the story mode, Mario was like the final boss. But it is
Never played
just
the old
kind
Mario
of fun.
Golf, so can't comment too much. I had Mario Power Tennis on GameCube. I played a little bit of that. I think I struggled getting past like the last area as a kid, and I got fed up.
Yeah,
I was meaning to get Mario Tennis Aces, but I never ended up getting that. I've heard great things about it though. Like I heard you can I've heard it plays like a fighting game, which is really bizarre.
Yeah, it does. Mario Tennis Aces is, I will stand by it, is the best Mario Tennis game. Like now, especially now, like when it came out, the only problem it had was that it barely had any content and had some really strange decisions. Like you couldn't pick what court you played on in multiplayer. It just cycled through them all, which is really weird. But they fixed all that now after like a year's worth of patches. So now it's actually really, really good. So if you're getting into Mario Tennis now, you're gonna have a great time. Mario Golf, I guess we'll have to wait and see after a year of it being out if it's still up there. But I don't know. I'm not convinced. As of now, it's fun to play with friends. Don't get me wrong. Me and a friend got it, and we've played a few rounds against each other, and we had a good time doing it. And I'm obviously enjoying the story mode because I keep playing it. But it could be better. The only other game I'm playing right now is I was playing was Donut Country. If you've ever played that.
I'm gonna have to Google that because this is the first time I'm actually
I've
hearing
never heard about that game before.
Oh, so it's kind of Katamari-esque, but instead of like a ball that you're rolling up and trying to get stuff, it's a hole that you're trying to drop stuff down. So you get put in like a set piece, and you've got a tiny hole, and you're trying to drop as many things in the hole, and every time you drop something into the hole, it gets bigger.
Okay, I see.
I just read the game designer Ben Esposito, and a part of my brain read that as Ben Shapiro.
Oh no!
Let's not. No.
Yeah.
Pretend you read Ben Despacito instead.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yes.
Yeah, Donut County's alright. I started it and I sort of stopped. I started it last year and I just sort of stopped after a bit. But then my friend told me it's actually incredibly short, and so I just thought I'd go back and finish it over the last few days, and I did. And yeah, I mean it's alright. Like they throw a few extra mechanics in there, but you can sort of tell that it's a very simple idea that's really hard to expand on. So it just like I'm glad it's short. Let's put it like that, because it definitely could run the risk of overstaying its welcome. Creators making Neon White, that card-based FPS game. I don't know if I've heard of it, but it sounds like an interesting mix. Has the guy from Toonami. Okay. Leo, what
Tom
about
the
you?
Robot.
What are you?
For me, I was a while back, and when I say a while back, I mean a few years ago. I had like this neon machine, and it touched my PS4, and ever since that happened, the PS4 has been really faulty. So very recently, I was able to secure a long fought fictional machine called a PlayStation 5.
So you have imagined
And
something then.
I've been using that to play some games recently. It took me away from the Switch for a while, and the only reason I'm playing the Switch again now is because Kazuya's in Smash. But I'm not going to be talking about that just yet. So I've been playing a few games on the PS5. It's mostly been the PS4 games that I've sort of missed out on, or either that game. It's either that or PS4 games that I had, and I'm just replaying again for the hell of it. Right now I'm playing Ape Escape 2, which is actually a childhood
Right.
favorite of mine.
That's a good one. I really wish
Um,
Ape Escape 3 didn't have the Metal Gear Solid content in it, so they could re-release it.
fair enough. But yeah, I got PS now because that's like the closest thing that the PlayStation has to Xbox Game Pass.
hmm
But I got that for free via that. I've been playing through it. There's a few graphical hiccups on the PS5 because it was made for the PS4, and they haven't bothered to make every single game fully backwards compatible yet, which may or may not be an issue depending on your point of view.
Yeah.
And the game still is as fun as I remember. I can't remember where I left off. I think I beat the it was the female member of the Freaky Monkey Five, where you have to smack her in between her performances.
I honestly have very little memory of Ape Escape 2 compared to like Ape Escape 1. So I'm honestly that could mean anything to me. To be
My
honest.
But
only
there's this group called the Freaky Monkey Five, and there's like the blue one, which is like really fast and like rides a unicycle.
Okay.
There's the second one who's like really fat and is a sumo wrestler and like runs away. And then there's the third one, which is the female like idol monkey who's like wants to be a pop star, and you
Okay,
have to
sure.
deny her of that dream. And then there's the fourth one, which is like this scientist with a robot who is shaped like the character you're playing as. His name is either Jimmy, which is his name in the American version, or
Mhm.
if you play the European or the Japanese version, I think it's Hikaru. That's his name.
Okay.
And then after the robot, you fight this macho monkey,
Mhm.
and then you fight. I think it's the yellow monkey that you fought in before, but like really giant, and then you fight Spectre again.
Okay.
It was a great. It was a good game though. Like it's a good game. I'm really enjoying it. And but it's not. That's not the only game I've been playing. I've also this may or may not have been a bad idea, but I've started the Final Fantasy VII remake while not having played much of the original Final Fantasy VII. I am very okay. Just had a DM, but yes, I started the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm really liking how the game plays. Um, it basically plays like a it's basically kind of plays like Kingdom Hearts, only if Kingdom Hearts was a game that required like any brain usage
if
whatsoever.
if
You don't
if
have to just like
if Kingdom Hearts
tap
was good,
tap the X button over and over and over again. Um, yeah, you have to like analyze what your opponents, what the enemies, sorry, like what they are weak to and what's
I
and
really
so
like the battle system in Remake. I think it looks really, really good. They had to make sure that every animation has like no weak keyframes because you can slow down everything for the
mm-hmm.
command menu. So every pose has to be really strong so it looks good even while not in motion, and that it just makes everything like so nice.
If only NetherRealm Studios could learn something from that mindset. That we're getting sidetracked. Moving right along. I am currently I'm currently at chapter 11 or chapter 12. I'm either I'm either halfway through the train section where you're like dealing with these ghosts. Or I'm like just finished it because the last when I left off I had just beat this like giant ghost boss.
Okay.
Right now, I am not too confused with what's going on in the story. From what I can tell, the story it isn't like a 100% remake, and it's more like a pseudo sequel to Final Fantasy VII in a sense.
Yeah,
And
we've talked about that before on the show.
I've talked
It's
about it with people before in other chats, but it seems like Sephiroth is he's either seen the future or he's from the future. And he's like traveled back in time to try and like bend reality to his will, but there's these phantoms that are not letting him do that. And I think,
yes.
and my guess is that the end of the game is going to be like this big battle between Cloud and Sephiroth. And during that battle, the ghosts will show up, and then you have to team up with Sephiroth in order to kill the ghosts. And then when the ghosts all die, now the timeline or whatever can't be affected by them. That's
You'll
my guess
see.
anyway. I've not seen the ending. I've not seen the ending.
I haven't seen the ending either, but I know what happens. And I guess you'll see.
I Leo,
Yes.
why do you have a galaxy brain?
I don't have a galaxy brain, no. Just because I was blessed. Because I was blessed.
Yes.
Let's talk about how your galaxy brain to get not only Minecraft and Smash, but also Tekken and Smash. Then
Right,
you
okay.
certifiably be winning Fighter Pass 2.
Full disclosure, everybody. Before, most of you don't know me, but I am a regular, or at least was a regular, in the Source Gaming Discord server. There's usually a link to the Discord server in the description of every
Yes.
single
Yes.
Source Gaming video. So
The
if you
link
ever
in
want to
this
join,
the link in the description for this video works. So
Yeah.
there it is.
They should
Right.
work. If they haven't been working, let me know. I'll change them.
Right, okay. So over there, I was known for being an advocate for two things. I was advocating for like Tekken, and I was advocating for Steve. Now, pass one, I came and went. I got four. I actually was unlike some Steve supporters. I actually wanted Banjo in the game, so that wasn't like a punch in the gut for me.
Yeah.
But what?
In retrospect, like there was no reason for people to think it was one or the other.
Yeah, and
It's
Yeah.
this is
the
the fan
same company, you
mindset
see,
that
that's
The fan
Microsoft
mindset.
can't have two.
Yeah, and Microsoft had to, and then Square Enix had to.
Yeah,
Fan rules
so-
are they're just
Fan
gonna
rules
get
are
broken.
dumb.
They're just gonna get broken.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got Banjo last time. That didn't really hamper my desire for Steve to happen. Although some people did tell me that because Banjo had happened, it was I basically might as well should have given up on Steve. And I mean, well, who's laughing now? Who's laughing now?
You kept to your
In
ideals.
the famous words of Todd Howard, "Who's laughing now?"
Speaking of Todd Howard, that's going to be a topic we're going to have to talk about later on.
Oh boy.
But moving right along,
Mhm.
despite Banjo being the only character that I had previous attachment to, I knew who everyone was before they were put into Smash, even Terry Bogarts, and the only reason I know who he was is because of Capcom vs SNK 2. And even Mugen as well, because like there's like loads of SNK content from Mugen. It's insane.
If it has a
I
spike tree,
enjoyed
it's in
everybody.
Mugen.
Yeah, it's got a fighting game sprite that's in Mugen. It's just the law.
I've enjoyed like how everybody plays except for Byleth. I'm not like one of the Byleth is like an atrocious addition to Smash Brothers, and they're a waste of a slot, and they're this, that, and the other. I think the Byleth's more of a victim of circumstance than anything else. I just personally do not jive with Byleth's playstyle at all.
Yeah,
I think Byleth's attacks are very sluggish, and
I've talked about this before, but Byleth is a victim of the Smash fan base because Byleth has the most interesting sword that they could have possibly worked with in the DLC. But because Smash fans are little freaking babies, no, they must use other weapons.
We have to represent the weapon triangle. It's essential.
The weapon triangle that's not even in Three Houses.
I know.
very tragic. Very tragic.
Yeah, I sort of agree. Byleth is a bit slow. I think I prefer his moveset to Joker's, though. I think Joker's got the weakest out of the first fight part.
Joker has the weakest moveset because he's got a single move from the game.
Yeah.
I have more fun playing as Joker just because Joker's like got better frame data and like has better movement.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, he does. I think I'm better in
the
Smash
gun
with
stuff.
certain
The gun stuff
characters.
is like unironically really fun, and our setting is unironically really fun. So it's really just Byleth having like really slow frame data, and like people bash on Banjo for like not being very mechanically interesting. But Byleth has like no real gameplay, and adds like no gameplay mechanics. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a stutter today.
Yeah, Byleth's the most vanilla
no
character
gameplay
we've had.
mechanics.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
I don't think he would have had to be as well, because in Free Houses there's like this like time mechanic. Then again, having a time mechanic in Smash might be extremely toxic.
I
he
would
dies just like nope.
I would prefer Byleth having the rewind time gimmick to
What we got?
Another character having the rewind time gimmick.
Are you referring to Tracer by any chance?
No Tracer Smash. Let's not do that.
I'll talk about these like potential candidates people are like blabbing on about in the chat
we'll
section later.
Yeah, you
Tekken,
we're
gonna do Tekken now.
We're gonna talk about
the DLC.
We're gonna talk about the content that was just added, and you guys can ask what we think about specific characters once we're done with that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so moving right along, past 2 is when I get like the silver platter handed to me. We started off with Min Min. Now, I was okay with Min Min, even though Min Min is a character who I personally think should have been in base game. I know why they couldn't have done these characters in base game, but it feels like a base game inclusion to me, and it also feels like a base game inclusion to most people. And as a result of that, it wasn't like the big excitement people felt needed to happen in order to sell people on this next wave of DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But thankfully, this next character, Minecraft Steve, takes the internet.
Steve-O.
he crashed Twitter.
Yeah.
People who like a lot of people would argue that Minecraft Steve was a nothing character, and that like he is superfluous to like the identity of Minecraft and stuff. But if that really was the case, why did his inclusion break Twitter, and why is he still to this day probably the most talked about addition in past 2? I see people talking about Steve all the time on Twitter. So although a lot of it, admittedly, is because of his gameplay, which a lot of people do not like dealing with in online settings.
It's the ultimate counter to Kazuya. Just like in
I like how Steve plays, but a lot of people find Steve awkward to play as because a lot of his gameplay involves like digging up the ground and placing blocks down. But like after like a few months, people started like really getting into the technology, that Steve is capable of. I'm going to name drop some people that I would like to give a very limited shout out to, given my very limited social media presence. But I would like to give a shout out to Lizard Logan 1. He is a Steve player who has been doing a lot of really interesting stuff with that character. And I would also like to give a shout out to a guy called Yoni. I think that's his name, Yoni. FRFX. Yeah, Yoni FRFX. He is another guy who has been doing some really interesting stuff with Steve. I'd recommend you check both those people out when you get the chance. You can in fact play that character. You can do aggressive things with the character once you have enough resources.
I think it was pretty fun to play as, to be honest. I think of all the DLC characters, he's got like the most interesting play style. Like you can't just play him like you would any other character that was added in this pass, which I think makes him pretty fun.
People don't like that, though. Some people like to get like traditional Smash characters in the game.
Some people are boring.
That is true. That is true. Moving right along, Sephiroth happened. Sephiroth was really exciting, even for me, despite the fact I had never played Final Fantasy VII, just because Sephiroth, he's probably one of the most famous gaming villains who was not present in Smash before he was added. So, yeah. And then the Pyra and Mithra happened. I personally do not vibe with Pyra and Mithra much. But hey, it could be worse. Could have been Rex.
True.
On a serious note, though, I personally do not care much for Pyra and Mithra, but unlike the other first party we got, which was Byleth, like a lot of people felt Xenoblade was very underrepresented as a franchise.
Yeah.
And this was a character that, honestly, part of me wonders if like Rex and Pyra were probably like the most requested first party for the game, just based on some Japanese things that I saw.
I mean, they definitely were high up
Japanese
there.
polls.
If you look at even our poll, Rex and Pyra were one of the top first party picks. Like
were they top 20? Hold on,
yeah, they were definitely in the top. They were definitely in the top 20. I'm trying to remember if they were in top 10. I'm trying to remember where Waluigi placed. He was the other big one.
A mutual friend of ours has said, and they're probably 100% right, that the only reason people wanted Rex is because of Pyra and Mithra. So
I mean, yes.
This is probably the timeline they prefer.
I mean, you are not wrong. Right?
Yeah.
I talked about Min Min as well.
I talked about Min Min as well, but it's yeah, I think the mechanic of Rex and Pyra together would be interesting, but obviously it couldn't happen. Technical issues. That's why Rex didn't get in, and it was Pyra and Mithra. I don't mind Pyra and Mithra personally. Like they're also very vanilla moveset, I think. They're definitely not my favorite from this pass, but I'm actually good with them. So
you can.
I can't really say.
You can play as Pyra. You can play as Pyra and use the side B and pretend that that Dante is in the game.
They're both red as well. So.
But yeah, moving right along from Pyra and Mithra, back when Min Min was shown off and proceeded to annoy everyone in the online mode with her Dalsum with her Dalsum attacks, a Mii costume of Heihachi was revealed, and that had like caused everyone in the Smash community to jump to an assumption that Tekken would not be making an appearance as a playable character. And the 1 second, someone's knocking on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fair assumption to make at that time because like there wasn't necessarily a precedent that
that is fair.
Characters who get added as Mii costumes or spirits or whatever during DLC would then also get like playable characters. Obviously, Rex got added, but Rex is like as a Mii costume, and then Pyra and Mithra got added but that's slightly different because I'm pretty sure Rex was meant to be in the base game, and it's also Fighter Pass 1 anyway. So,
Yeah.
but this was definitely like if this was in Fighter Pass 1, then I might have been like if Heihachi was in Fighter Pass 1, then I might. Oh yeah, Tekken still had a chance in Fighter Pass 2. But if it's the fact that it was in Fighter Pass 2, that
Yeah.
just made me think, oh, okay, right, fair. But clearly they did it to just mess with everyone and make us forget about Tekken. Which
I think this is
super
the
funny.
thing, right? I think Nintendo and Sakurai like are well aware of like what people ask for.
Oh, they
And
definitely are.
I think they like they like also are deliberately aware of how close-minded a lot of people are when it comes to certain candidates.
Hi. Hi.
Like maybe we would have seen Kazuya coming if we didn't just assume things about how game development works. I don't think anyone who participates in these discussions like makes video games for a living, so they don't know.
Yeah, while Heihachi like has historically represented Tekken in crossovers, like
Yeah.
Kazuya's the original protagonist.
Yeah, he's also a key character, both hero and villain.
He's been villain since Tekken 2.
Yeah. So like he's also big. Yeah, I think everyone always just thinks about Heihachi or Jin because Jin's like the protagonist.
I
since
feel
Tekken 3.
like
the pseudo protagonist. I'll
yeah,
talk about it later.
I feel like
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I feel like
Lars. I feel like Jin is the request from actual Tekken fans, and Heihachi, while popular with Tekken fans, is more like known among the Smash community because he was previously considered.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it as well. The fact that he was previously considered and was the one chosen for the Mii costume in the last game makes everyone just to think, oh, he's obviously the first choice you'd think of for Tekken.
Yeah.
When really, I feel like Heihachi was only really briefly considered as the next logical Namco rep. Which, in hindsight, should have made a Tekken character over like a Tales of character really obvious. Like when Sakurai brought up Bandai Namco characters, like it was like, oh, Pac-Man's the only other choice. If there was another one, it would be Tekken. But really, Pac-Man's the only other choice.
Yeah.
So,
moving right along. It's finally time to explain how I've not really talked about this with most people, but Tekken is my first fighting game series. So before like I played Street Fighter, before I played like Mortal Kombat, before I played Smash, even like Tekken was my first 3D fighting game, and it was also one of the first video games I had played. Period. So like the personal attachment I have to this franchise is significantly larger than my personal attachment to most video game franchises. I played like Tekken 2 and Tekken 3 to the point where multiple discs for those games got broken or scratched very severely. And I didn't have a memory card for the PS1. I would just like boot the game up, like go through arcade mode with all the characters so everybody was unlocked. I would like write down patterns in Tekken 2 for like how you unlocked Roger, because I did not know how you unlocked Roger when I was a little kid. So after like loads of research, I eventually was able to find out that in order to like consistently fight Roger, you had to like deliberately get a grade on like stage 3 in order to fight him. I've played like borderline every single game in the Tekken series. I've played one. I went back like later on and played Tekken 1 just because I was that big of a Tekken fan. I got Tekken Tag 1 and Tekken 4 for the PS2. I got Tekken 5 on launch day. And I was like a little kid, so basically someone would I got someone within the family to go out and get Tekken 5 for me on launch day and like put it through the door the door slot for the mail. And that was like one of the first times I had like stayed up, and I was like waiting. I was like listening for the door for someone to like put the game through, so I could start playing it. A big reason why I didn't get the PS3 was not just because of the price, but because Tekken, which was like historically a PlayStation exclusive, was coming out on Xbox. So I felt this big need to like I don't need to get a PlayStation anymore. Tekken's not exclusive for it. I'll just get the cheaper console that it's on.
Friendship with Sony ended.
Yes.
Microsoft is the new Tekken.
So yeah, suffice to say, my personal attachment to this franchise is immense. And so what I would do as a defense mechanism is whenever like people would talk about Bandai Namco characters, I would like latch on to like a pessimistic part of me, just assume Tekken would not happen. So for Smash 4, now I actually wanted Pac-Man to be a playable character. So I was like, fair enough. I was like fully on board for that idea, and that was like the idea I championed. And whenever someone would like talk about Tekken, I would just like dismiss it offhandedly, saying like it's not got strong connections with Nintendo. They don't even have Street Fighter in the game yet, and that's like the grandfather of all fighting games. So later on, Ryu gets in, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then, like, the Heihachi costume happens, and that took me completely off guard, but I was, like, really happy just to see Tekken get something. I am not like most people where I see Mii costumes as, like, an insult, because I don't think that's how the developers see it. I think the developers just see it as a means to squeeze in more things that they weren't going to make playable anyway.
Yeah, they're clearly meant to be there as like to appeal to fans who wanted a character in, like a consolation prize. I mean, I understand why people are mad about it. They really shouldn't be. It's better than not having them there at all, right?
Yes. Well, we can talk more about the Mii costume stuff later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ultimate rolls around. Everyone is here, Hathens, and like a lot of people are looking at Bandai Namco and thinking Pac-Man's really lonely. So some people would suggest Tekken that I would like, but my pessimism would of course kick in, and I would suggest that it was probably more likely that we would get a Tails character or a Dark Souls character, or even the Prince from Katamari Damacy, or like Don-chan. I thought like all of those things would have been like more probable. Tekken, and not I didn't even genuinely think that. That was just like my pessimism talking. I was just like that jaded about it as a possibility, because like not only that, but during Smash 4, like Sakurai talked about how like Heihachi would be hard to implement. So I was like, oh hey, look at this! Like he's literally saying to you that Tekken's not going to be in the game. So like, why are you getting excited for this? Don't get my hopes up, please. So yeah, seeing like hearing Kazuya's theme in that trailer, like I knew instantly, and I denied it to myself.
Yeah,
I denied it.
Fucking three of us in the call immediately mentioned you. Yeah.
I wasn't watching it with anyone. I like to watch these presentations on my lonesome.
Absorb all the info, no distractions.
Yeah, just absorb all. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, once I saw like the volcano, like it was impossible to deny at that point. And when like the splash screen happened, I actually started crying. And I am not ashamed to admit that. I am not ashamed to admit that I got a little bit emotional about this. But as I implied, Tekken was like a big childhood franchise for me, and my other big childhood franchise was Pokemon. And the reason I wanted to play Smash in the first place was because it was a fighting game that had Pokemon in it. But like in a weird way, it was like my fandom for fighting games and my fandom for Pokemon that got me into Smash, and what exposed me to being a like general Nintendo fan. So without Tekken, I wouldn't be sitting in this call right now. Strangely enough. I wouldn't be sitting here
Being
right
a big
now.
fan of Pokken, man.
It's just I mean Pokken was fun. Pokken's fun. I kind of wish they did more content for that. But
Yeah, same.
that's besides the point. Yeah, without Tekken and without Pokemon, I wouldn't be a Nintendo fan. So seeing Tekken get into Smash, it's kind of completed the roster for me.
Right. Everything's come full circle now.
Like, yes, it's full circle now. I don't really need anything else. I mean, there's still characters I would like to see get in the game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like super jaded now. But,
Your optimism
in
has been
terms of
restored.
in terms of my personal attachment to characters, there is no one, and I mean it when I say this. There is no one that is either extremely talked about within the Smash community, is not talked about at all within the Smash community, or is like straight up impossible that would get me to like do that, like I literally cry at a character reveal ever again. Like for me, Smash is done. They can add like whoever they want. They could add like something like really cool for people, like Crash, and like okay, or they could add like a community's like worst nightmare as the last character, like Cinderace or Yuden from Dragalia Lost, and I'll be like, okay.
Either Yuden is fine. I would be
Or
upset.
like
Well,
they could like
the
break the
community.
most secret rule with the Smash community
Oh no!
and
Please
add a
no!
non-gaming
No!
character,
Oh,
and that would be okay.
Okay.
11 o'clock, like always.
Oh my
I
god!
really do
I
not
knew
care
it.
anymore.
Hold on.
It's Spazzy.
Was that wild Spazzy appeared?
Yes,
I knew
a
it.
wild Spazzy appears as I was speaking complete heresy.
Sorry, man. Time zones, you know. The Shadow Link tells me one thing, and it's the same time as me, but I don't trust that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you two are in the same time zone.
Yeah.
That's not an excuse this time. Just blame the 4th of July if you can blame anything.
Yeah, you know, it's I was partying pretty hard on the 3rd, so can we talk about Koei's Super Nintendo and Genesis game, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death? That game is like hilarious. I love it.
Well, right now we're talking about, or I guess we can talk about our impression of Kazuya now that he's actually in. Now that we've got the little history lesson out of the way.
Yeah, but my personal attachment. Hold on, I'm gonna just actually go and get my Switch so I can see how many matches I've got logged with Kazuya right now.
Ooh.
While you're doing that, I take it we've all played Kazuya. I don't know then.
So for anybody unaware, I've been holding out on buying the DLC for Smash because like I want to see if like I actually want to buy the fighter pass because the amount of characters that I want would be the same price or higher. I'm waiting to see what it's looking like when the pass is done. That being said, though, I did buy the first piece of Smash Ultimate DLC that I've ever bought. And if anybody knows me, they know what it is.
You had to show your support.
Dante.
Yeah, he's there now. He's a me costume.
Okay.
He's there with Shantae. He's in the game.
It's cool though. They buffed the Dante specific moves. The ones he uses in his reveal, the fucking down B stinger and up B like high time helm breaker thing. Those got buffed.
Right, okay, I'm checking my battle data right now. I have
Dante and Shantae are the two me costumes I've been trying to
use.
use.
I did buy Shantae as well, and Mr. Funny Skeleton Man.
See, I've been using the Matt Boson official.
Right, so it's only been like a week, and like I already have 88 matches logged with Kazuya.
Nice. Yeah,
I've been trying to get Kazuya into Elite Smash.
Yeah,
it's treating me like it is with Zelda, where I keep getting so close, like one match away, and then it all comes crumbling down, and I have to claw my way back up.
One of our friends got Kazuya into Elite Smash in 2 matches.
Yeah, well, that's I won my first. So I did this to myself. Like, I won the first match, and then I was against the second match, and I won that. So I was on the third match. Like, so I made him with the Kazuya gold costume, and I was like, let's do this. But it was like on a match on like Hannenbau against another Kazuya player and somebody playing as Terry. And this other Kazuya player was just like camping in like the corner on that little platform down in the bottom. And anytime anyone tried to go near him, he would like up tilt to knock him away. Eventually, I got rid of him, and I took
that is not a good stage for like.
Chat, that's not the DMC2 outfit. Oh my god.
And anyway, like I got like so close, and then I started talking. Like I managed to get into that position, and then I just started chatting with my housemate a little bit while I was playing, and the other Kazuya and Terry beat each other up. But I chatted for too long and got disconnected from inactivity, which completely fucked up everything. Because from that point onwards, it's all been downhill for me with Kazuya. It's not fun, and I've got no one to blame but myself because I would have done it by now.
You can also blame Hannenball because Hannenball.
Oh,
I like the fact Hannenball is a stage, but it is not fun to fight on. When it's like more than one player, and the character and your opponent has like a degenerate campy playstyle.
I've never had a fun match on Hannenbau. It's awful.
I like that Kazuya allows you to play with multiple degenerate playstyles. He really
you can camp with laser, and you can like also like wait until you get rage, and then you can just like rage drive and get a free kill.
Yeah, I've had a few campy kills with Kazuya. I've done the whole rage drive off the edge of a cliff by accident. And like and win because they only had one stock and I had two.
I've done
one of my favorite things to do. I was playing a Palutena earlier, and every time I'd run towards them, they try to counter. So every time, like I'd sprint towards them as if I was going to dash attack, and then I'd just grab instead. And they kept falling for it every time. I would just grab because it obviously doesn't affect counter.
Yeah,
and it's great.
So I have not played as Kazuya, but I have played against Kazuya many times. I lost every single time except for one time. And don't worry, Chad, it's fine. I've just so many people have said it's DMC2 Dante, and I'm just like, please play the games. But so the one time I beat Kazuya was as Sheik. Sheik is just so fast that they could not keep up. And I felt really bad about it because my friend was just getting really upset towards the end of that match and was just like, please just kill me.
Which friend was it? Was it Omega by any chance?
No, it was Creeks.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Creeks is bad at Smash, so that doesn't surprise me.
I know that there's some infinite set because you can do on some shorter characters with some weird footstool nonsense.
There's a weird ass infinite he can do on Ken, and that's really funny.
Yeah, but he can do it like on Pikachu and other things. But in general, I feel like if you are a fast, short character, you give Kazuya a lot of problems.
Yeah, even just like it depends on your running animation. I played against a Marth, and Marth just runs under like every single one of Kazuya's.
Sheik does that too.
But it makes sense because Tekken is very much about low, middle, high, so you should be paying attention.
Yeah.
Low, middle, high.
As long as you don't play as like a projectile heavy character, you probably might be fine.
Yeah, that's actually something else I've had a problem against Kazuya. Anyone with like a sense of range. I was against Richter Belmont in one match, and just getting past the whip was a big pain in the bum. Like just the and Youngling, that was the other one. I was against a spammer online, which is already bad enough. But when you've got basically no range and Young Link's so small that you can't, wave dash underneath the projectiles, it's
Yeah,
just like,
I played a
oh,
Neff
God,
who
man.
was kind of annoying too, because he was just kind of the right size, and PK fires at a weird angle.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but I have to say, when I first started playing him, he is the least intuitive Smash character I have when he first that I've ever played. Like more than Min, more than anyone else. Like he just
Oh, man.
feels weird. But after a couple matches, you get used to it. I don't know if it's better or worse. Well, because you can use the second stick as, instead of a smash stick, as a tilt stick for him, and then if you use that, you have all of his moves just mapped to the second stick. But for the ones that are combos, like if you're gonna do his what do you call the Mishima, like hurricane kick type move, the spinning around one? It's
I know what you're talking about.
Hyleo, you should know.
Yeah.
What's that move called? Some sort of weird
What's the move? I'm actually playing a match with Kazuya.
Oh, God damn it.
You got distracted.
It's funny. See, I really like playing as this character. This is like really
the spinning
cool for me.
kick.
Yeah, I think it's like the spinning demon kick, maybe. Is that what it is?
I think his roundhouse to triple spin kick is called in Smash. I think it's called the spinning demon in Tekken though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so one where he goes down
is
and then goes
powerful.
back up. Yeah. It's the up and right.
Yeah, and that's been like a very solid kill move on Kazuya.
Yeah, it's actually a really good move if you can land it, because it's almost guaranteed to finish the combo once you hit it. Not like the 10 hit combo.
Which you can roll out of.
Okay. So, I got bullied. I got caught.
We can talk about getting bullied when I'm done making my point instead of interrupting
okay.
me, Matt.
No, I just want to say.
Well, you can say it. You can say it. But
I got stuck in the 10-hit combo 3 times. Yeah.
The thing about the 10-hit combo is, I think there's a certain point that it locks in. Like maybe it's like by like hit 7 or something if you hit all of the other ones. But before that, it's really easy to like block or DI or just move out of. Like it's like only if you get hit by a certain number of them does it like lock in. And that last hit is unblockable. So if you try to block the whole thing, you get hit by the last hit. But you can just like roll out of the way of the last hit or spot dodge or something. Like it's interesting, but it's not like, I feel like it's definitely not like an overpowered move. But yeah, my point was
not overpowered at all.
Yeah, my point was, if you go and use the spinning kick with the C stick if you're using the GameCube, or the right analog if you're using a Pro controller or a Joy-Con, it only starts it, and then you have to switch to hitting the A button for the combo, which is the same as using the left stick, but since you're using the stick and your finger on the same button, you know what I'm saying? The timing is a little different, so it feels weird. Because you have to hit upright on the stick, and then you have to move your finger to the A button and complete the combo, which isn't a big deal, but it's a little weird. So I kind of actually prefer for multi-hit moves to just actually tilt using the regular analog stick. Just feels more natural. Kazuya might be my favorite pack though. Like music, the stage is beautiful. I didn't expect the stage to, especially in Omega and Battlefield, to look as good as it did.
Yeah, the stage looks very nice, and I like the music selection. I don't know if he's my favorite from this pass, though. He kind of sits in the middle along with Pyra and Mithra for me. Like, I enjoy playing as him. I've been playing as him a whole bunch recently. But, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm not as good with him as I am with, like, say, Min Min and Sephiroth. Like, Sephiroth has been my most disappointing reveal so far, but he is one of the fun ones to play, in my opinion. Whereas I think Kazuya,
I'm saying he's my favorite pack, not necessarily my favorite character, but he's a good character. Like altogether as a pack, I think it's my favorite pack.
Right, okay.
Like then. Stage, music, character, everything is good. I think Pyra and Mithra also is very solid. and so Sephiroth actually. It's actually been pretty good. These haven't been characters that have been like super highly wanted from me, but I think this pass has been a lot better than the first one personally. I just think the
Bold
content is
claim.
better. Well,
Joker's
because
not on this pass, so I agree.
But it's just like the characters are more fun. The stages are better. Like it's not.
That is true. I'll get. Yeah, no. I mean, I agree with you. So the first patch had a lot of characters that people like had been asking for ages, and has a lot more characters that I wanted. But the characters in Fighter Pass 2 have been a lot more unique and have added more to the game than.
Yeah, and as somebody that's pretty neutral on like almost everybody that's been added, like I like Hero, I like Terry, I like Kazuya, but none of them have been. I still haven't gotten like a character that's like, wow, that's like my character, and I won't because we only have one left.
You never know.
Yeah, but like I just think this has been a more interesting pass.
Listen, Spazzy. We'll be Izuna dropping in Smash someday.
You're just gonna have to wait for Ultimate Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch
Pro. Ultimate Smash Bros. Ultimate Edition. I could see that like in a couple of years having like a new version of the game with all content and like a couple things added.
So in English it's going to be called Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Special. In Japan it's going to be called Super Smash Bros. Special Ultimate.
Yes. Do it. That's great.
Like I think Banjo, for instance, is a cool addition, but like implementation wise, he feels kind of like a melee character, which is. I think that kind of
works for Banjo. Like if there was any character, I think I'd want that for. It'd be a character who basically hasn't been relevant since that era of games.
I kind of wish Banjo was more vanilla because he's got the Wonder Wing, and I don't quite like that move. Like it feels like a forced gimmick.
I think it's fine, just in the sense that I'm not quite sure how else you would implement the
Wonder Wing, and I feel like
his moveset.
And I feel like they did a good job of taking like Banjo's moves and putting them into Smash, and you kind of do need Wonder Wing somewhere. So I think it
especially it's like mostly Banjo Kazooie 1 focused. I'm curious, Leo, between Kazuya and Steve.
Kazuya, definitely.
Kazuya.
Steve's probably number 2. Steve's number 2. Steve's number 2, but Kazuya's number 1.
Look, Steve didn't make him cry.
I mean, that's true. I meant from a purely actually enjoy playing.
Oh, I enjoy playing as Kazuya as well. I really like playing as Steve. I like using my Galaxy Brain with Steve because you can do some actual fuckery with him. But I like having what's sort of Tekken and Smash, and that's what Kazuya is. Steve is really fun though. I like spiking people with pickaxe.
Do you think the Tekken aspect has been done well then?
Yes, I do think it's been done. I do think it's been done pretty well. So in the old content, which has somewhat aged poorly, if you were to go and watch it, I thought the gimmick was going to be A moves would be punch and B moves would be kick. They didn't end up doing that. They instead did the thing which I thought would harm the accessibility, which was have a bunch of moves matched to diagonal into.
We should have known after Terry got a back special that Sakurai was just going to go nuts. Whatever.
I did suggest because you have back normals.
It's interesting because it's kind of a Smash solution when you think about it, because it does simplify the button inputs of Tekken. You're not having to do all these crazy combos. You're just hitting a direction and a button, which is Smash. But you can do that and then string them together to play a game like Tekken, just with a different set of inputs, which is crazy Smash implementation. I think it's kind of perfect.
They made one of the most complicated inputs in Tekken into just hold the A button.
It's like that meme someone posted before. It's like Cassie's 10 hit input is just gonna be A,
and it was
right.
It was,
but it still feels correct, and it feels like Tekken. I think it's good. Odddoodle said Hero is a really fun character who I think, but I'm really bummed by the music. I agree. Because Dragon Quest has
Yeah.
some great music, but we got like
8 tracks.
uh,
All
yeah,
of
Probably
them.
to do with
all
the
midis.
No
composer.
remixes or
No
midis.
remixes. All
Yeah.
midis.
I'm
Poor composer.
I know that when I eventually mod this game, I mean, what? Who mods games? I'm gonna add a lot of Dragon Quest music and Final Fantasy even more.
Yeah.
Isn't that the most exciting thing about DLC being over? The fact that the modding scene will open up.
Yeah. Less patches means less
Yeah.
worrying about shit breaking.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with Smash 4. Is that
Yeah.
after it really opened up.
Mhm.
Remember that game, Smash 4? Wow.
The moment I saw Sakurai use the beam at least 10 times in his demonstration, I knew that they successfully implemented Tekken into Smash.
Beams and all the grabs. That's my Tekken
Yeah.
strat is always just to try and grab when you can, and that is my Kazuya strat in Smash as well. It's
Yeah.
just grab and throw whenever
Listen,
possible.
I
listen.
find it weird they gave him the cinematic throw
Mhm.
animation.
I love
People
that.
are asking him to get banned from the
Oh,
competitive things and that.
that's so funny. It's so funny. Just seeing him
It is
like
really
grab Jigglypuff and then fucking kick her off a cliff.
Like axe kick and weird
Yeah,
shit.
it's
crazy.
fantastic.
I
really
think,
like
okay.
how accurately the Tekken animations are implemented, even down to the fact that
Kazuya's spine breaks.
yeah, Kazuya's spine breaks. His entire torso twists into a knot while he's doing the kick. It's great.
They changed the name of the scoliosis kick.
Yeah.
I think just going back to the stage, I think it's kind of crazy that this is our first like Japanese karate dojo in the moonlight stage. It seems like just like something that should happen.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well, we had Sunset
if
before.
Smash 4 had more of a budget.
Yeah.
No.
It's
Ryu,
sunset, and now it's gone tonight.
Ryu's not going to be the moon. It's going to be daytime, and the whole thing's going to be on fire.
Yes, that was something we talked about when we did the Hayabusa
Yeah.
Ninja Gaiden all content. We're like, how is there not? Because we were doing the spirits,
Yeah.
and you know,
Oh,
Hayabusa Village is
I
on
was
fire.
meaning Ryu from Street Fighter.
But yeah, he's
Smash
rooftop.
4.
It's different. It's a
Yeah,
different
I suppose.
yeah. We were going over everything, trying to find good stages for stuff. We're like, what would best represent Hayabusa Village on fire? And then we discovered there's not a single
There's no
stage on
village on
fire in the
Yeah,
game.
how is there no stage on fire? Like Gerudo Valley is half on fire sometimes.
Castle
There's a
Siege
small
has
fire
a fire
in the background.
Yeah.
You got
That's
the
it.
Ganon boss fight is the closest.
Yeah,
'cause that
Yeah,
is
but that's
like
not a
the
stage.
boss
I'm
fight.
sure
It
is
is
a boss
unfortunately
fight
not a
arena.
stage, even though it is a great stage. I like that stage.
I feel like all of
It
those
really
boss
should
stages
be
should
a
have been.
stage. They should have just
Yeah.
made them like, because then you can have Monster
Same
Hunter
with Monster
stage.
Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they should have done something where they had those also as stages.
Yeah.
But that's crazy to me that there is no like Village on Fire stage or just on fire stage in general.
Mhm.
Why is nothing on fire here?
We have 100 stages and not one of them is on fire.
So, is there anything else we want to talk about in regards to Kazuya?
The Tekken tag theme is in there, so it's automatically a 10 out of 10 pack.
I'm surprised they went as far as they did with some of the music. I thought it was just going to be battle music, but no.
Dude, they put
put
fucking yodeling in.
intro
Yodeling,
music.
they got yodeling in there.
Intro
Yodeling
music. They put in the attract music from Tekken 3, which is the music that plays during the cinematic when the game's not being played. Basically, what happens is like there's this little cinematic that plays with like Harang doing like a bunch of like attacks, and there's like a bunch of other characters doing attacks in it. They put that as one of the songs, and like that was just like just completely took me off guard. And then they just put that with the character select theme. I was like, what? Like you're going this far when there's all this battle music you could be picking? And then they did like a remix, and then like of like the Tekken 6 character select theme. Like,
I mean, the
dearie
composers
me.
get to
I
pick
could-
what songs they do. They wanted to do those
I
songs.
suppose, but still, like they didn't do anything like that for Street Fighter or King of Fighters.
It's what they wanted to do, you know. They had we'll call it Moonlight. It's a game. I'm used to calling it Infinite Azure, and it gets a remix by
It's
the Kingdom Hearts lady.
there's
Moonlight.
There's Moonlit Wilderness and there's Moonsiders. Which one? I'd imagine it's
Moonsiders is the one.
Moonsiders. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tekken 7 one.
Right.
That's, I actually I'm not sure if I prefer the original or this one, but they're both good. It's a great song, so it's hard to mess that up. But that was really the only song I wanted in this game, and it's here, so I'm happy.
Yeah. I just wanted Tekken Tag, and I got yodeling too. So like,
There's a good remix of that song from the very end of the Tekken 7 story mode where Kazuya and Heihachi are fighting.
mhm.
I don't remember what that song is called, but it's a good remix.
I think it might be. I think it might have the Italian and the name. I'll go and look at the song list after this next match. I'm actually playing
God
Smash
damn it.
as I do this. Sorry, you
No,
put
it's-
Kazuya and Smash in
it's
my
o-
mind, and I
it's
wanted to play
okay.
them.
It's okay as long as you don't turn the volume on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's muted. It's muted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess anything else then around? Go on to talking about Fighter 11.
I
Player
got
11,
something I want to
everyone's
bring up.
unrealistic
I got
expectation.
something I want to bring up.
Okay.
So friend of mine heard a thing about Dante. So you know how everyone was convinced that Fighter 5 was going to be Dante?
Yeah.
And
for
then,
Last Pass.
and then Byleth happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Byleth happened.
I had actually heard that from somebody.
Apparently, Nintendo noticed that they weren't planning to put Dante in the game at all. So this is how they're responding to that. So that gives me hope. Whatever the next game is, Dante's at the top of the fucking list.
Oh my god, I was on Smash boards and somebody said, "Oh, well, it's a good thing that like Jin isn't a Mii costume because third-party Mii costumes never become fighters." And I'm all like, "You're like really just looking for patterns now, man. I know that didn't happen this time, but what? Like, why would that be a rule?" I would think it's the opposite. Like,
Fan rules are made to be broken.
yeah, like I honestly think if you have a Mii costume now, it means that they know that there's interest in the
Demand.
character.
Yeah.
Bandai
Like,
If
Namco.
your rule last time is the big show of that.
Yeah, Bandai
Like,
Namco. If you need somebody to help with the Dante moveset, you can contact me.
I think it's
on Twitter.
I think it's
Send me a
Desperate
DM.
Struggle that's the remix, or Aloneness. It's one of the two. I'd put the music on to like listen,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna do that right now.
Like I've said before, I don't think I mean anything is possible, but I highly doubt Hayabusa's the Last Pass character. But if he's not, then I hope he is a Mii costume because that's better than nothing. I don't like people have this weird feeling that like, oh my god, like it was either a Mii costume or playable. Like they were deciding between those two. It's like no, not at all. They decided characters first.
They were
All the
never
characters
gonna
were
be
decided.
Yeah,
And
Mii
the-
costume or nothing.
or nothing. Yeah, they decided everybody. And then that's the other thing. Like, wouldn't you rather know? Like, if you're a Geno fan, right? Aren't you happy that you got the Geno costume when you did? So you're not like right now being like, oh man, it's gonna be Geno, and then you get really disappointed as the last fighter.
I feel like that's also the reason for the timing of this specific set of costumes. Because the last fighter, people are gonna like build up their expectations so ridiculously high, so you might as well shoot two of them down right now.
I think Sakurai should do every week a new Spirit event, and the Spirit event should be called "Not Getting into Smash," and it should just be somebody new, and that way it gives us somebody to look forward to. as
Yeah.
speculators.
So-
You're like,
so-
oh man, who's gonna get this confirmed this week?
The thing is, Arrow, Sora is a legal fucking nightmare. You have to both coordinate with Square Enix,
Who
but
sucks.
also Disney, and
Who really sucks.
Disney has to give the okay that a character can snap Sora's neck. So, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. They also
I think
probably
it's possible if they really, really want to. The thing is, if
Yeah,
Nintendo
if they really
wants the
want
format.
Sora in Smash, I think they'll let it happen.
yeah,
But like,
Sora's not like a regular Disney character. They didn't want to have a Disney fighting game, even if it was just the villains. But they're okay with Sora being beaten up and beating other people up because he's kind of different. He's already like an action character.
yeah.
He's already a character that fights. So I think they've got a bit more leeway when it comes to that. But Disney is like,
yeah, the thing is, Nintendo has to look at it and be like, "This is worth the trouble." When they're like, "Oh, or we could just get Sephiroth and only have to deal with Square Enix."
Square.
Like, yeah, it's cost benefit. Like, it would be a lot of work to get Sora. Not impossible,
Yeah.
but
Also, like
a lot of work.
representing Kingdom Hearts without the Disney content would make it not feel like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And Sakurai probably doesn't want to do that, but that's also like breaking the rule of no non-video game content. So I think the ideal solution is a Sora Mii Fighter costume. And that's not me being like facetious or spiteful. I think that's the way you get Sora.
I think that is more likely than not. Although if they did have, I don't necessarily think the non-video game content rule would be a massive detriment for Sora.
Yeah, because I don't think it applies as much to the world the character comes from as much as that character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I could see.
Interpret it.
It's obviously more stuff to go through. That's like more legal stuff to go through to get like Mickey, Donald, and Goofy in the game somehow. Because you're right, Sakurai would absolutely. He'd have to have like Sora's final smash will be the tri-attack or whatever with Donald and Goofy showing up, and then Mickey would be like a spirit event or something. Like I totally see that would be a thing that would have to happen with Sora, and they might not want to do that.
And then there's me who just wants Mickey Mouse playable instead. But yeah, like on this topic, I am personally indifferent to whether or not Sora happens. I'd welcome it. I think Kingdom Hearts is fun to play. I think I think Sora would like translate very well into Smash. I think there's a slight possibility he could end up being a little bit toxic to fight against because he's from like a combo centric game, but that's besides the point.
We've gotten many of them at this point, I think.
my dude, you're playing as Kazuya Mishima.
Yeah,
that's true. That is true. I'm playing as Kazuya Mishima. 10-hit combo is the game move. But yeah, I'd be fine if Sora happened. I don't think it's particularly likely, just for the reasons that have just been said.
Yes.
But if I am wrong about that, I'd be completely fine. I'd welcome it. I'd be happy for the people who want Sora in the game.
I would like to be wrong about it.
I think if I was honestly to pick a character, like I had like no like not even like what I would want. Like if I was to pick like one character for the game, like Sora would be a character I would consider just because Sora's like one of the biggest requests.
Yeah,
would make like
Kingdom
a ton
Hearts
of people
is
happy.
a big series. Like it is one of Square's big Japanese series that isn't in Smash yet.
Yeah,
I would rather if I was to have a Square character other than Gex, obviously, would be Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Lara Croft is mine
because like that's just that's an even bigger series than Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and like a personal want for mine is like a Chrono Trigger character, which I don't think is it's such a basically dead series now.
Yeah,
that I don't see it ever happening.
Chrono Trigger is like
But that's just like a
costume.
personal.
Cool me costume.
Yeah, Chrono is me costume material.
Yeah, Chrono would be an excellent me costume.
Yeah. So yeah, shall we talk about first? Let's talk about who I guess we think could be the last fighter, and then people in the chat can ask us our thoughts on other fighters and whether we think they're likely. Does that sound like a good way to?
Yeah, that sounds
Sure, that
perfect.
sounds like a good way.
I just did this with Push Dustin yesterday.
Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah.
But you spent most of that time talking about how hot characters were instead, so this is different.
Right. Well, yes, we did a tier list first of based on hotness. You guys can check that out if you would like.
And I agree with you. Palutena should be higher up there.
Right? Yeah. Come on.
But anyway, we're doing this now.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go top to bottom, which means I'm first.
Yeah.
So like I have no idea who the last fighter is gonna be. This whole pass has been it's just thrown me through a complete loop. I can't predict anything other than apparently me costumes for characters that I want. If I had to predict something, I would probably hinge a bet on a first party Nintendo character. I don't know who, don't know from what.
Pick a franchise.
It's
Don't be a coward. Pick a franchise. Just say
Pick
Pokemon.
something.
I do not think it's Pokemon. I do not think it's Pokemon.
Well, then pick something. You
Uh,
got it. Because
Gotta
I
pick
think it's from a video game company. That's my prediction.
You see, I'm
Doesn't
gonna
have to be
say
character.
I'm gonna say if I say a franchise, there's only one character it can be. So
Well, there you
Do
go.
it.
That makes it
Do
easier
it.
for you.
Come on, all the glory.
fucking Kirby.
Kirby. It's just
I
gonna
think
be
there's
Kirby.
plenty of choices there can be from Kirby.
Shadow Kirby.
No, there's only one choice from Kirby. There's only one choice.
Magalore.
No.
No, I think Magalore's more likely than Bandana Waddle Dee. I am 100% on that, by the way.
Yeah, Matt. I mean,
and I think Magalore's a better character for
Yeah.
Smash.
That's the
Well,
thing.
not for like representing the series, because Bandana Waddle could have a decent moveset, and he's very much like, yeah, he is the next playable Kirby character. I just think Magalore would be more fun to play as.
I mean, that's fair enough. I'm not a fan of Bandana Waddle Dee. I get that he has a lot of fans that want him.
Yeah.
I think he's.
I'd be happy with either of them, and I think
I'd be happy with their inclusion. I just think he's pretty boring.
I think there's some interesting things you could do with him, but you are right. He would be more. His moveset would definitely feel more like a Banjo Byleth type of simple moveset than something like wacky that we've been getting with all the other characters.
I've got another idea, and that is Undertale.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Ooh, we get two. I'm gonna do two.
Sure.
Yeah, fine.
just throw out whatever you think is possible. Also,
I've got to give everyone turns, otherwise it's going to say everything.
Yeah.
We can do two.
Those are my. I'll hinge those as my predictions. The character I want is Demi-Fiend or Naobino from Shin Megami Tensei. That's.
I think Demi-Fiend is possible.
Demi-Fiend's my number one. He's my number one. He shot above Dante even before Dante was a Mii costume. So,
I feel like the Shin Megami Tensei 5 character is probably more likely than Demi-Fiend.
Naobino is more recent.
Yeah, he's the one who's got the new game coming out. Like he could. Obviously we haven't played Shin Megami Tensei 5, so I can't really say if he can do all the same stuff Demi-Fiend can or not.
No, but there's already a very big difference, and that is that Naobino has a sword.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That's also why he strikes fear into the minds of Smash fans. And personally, I'm not sure if I want Shin Megami Tensei 5 to be met with that level of spite. I think Demi Fiend would go over much better because he's a bare knuckle brawler, and that's
Like you can say,
that's
he's a
sick.
bear. I'm like, I didn't know he was a bear. That's sweet.
No.
People like bears. Look how they love Banjo.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So I
I'm
guess
good.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
Leo,
Guess
do you
it's
want to go
my
next
shot
then?
Yeah.
Right, so there's this big tribal ass war going on between hype beast third party supporters who just want to see like their favorite franchise take the last slot, and first party the first party people are either like there one or two people, or they're either people who are being pessimistic just because pass one ended on Byleth and people are assuming pass two is going to end on a similar low note just because bad or something like that. And then there's the people who like genuinely want to see like their most wanted first party like get a chance, because DLC has largely had a third party lead, and people are starting to feel like first parties aren't getting like any chance, like aren't even being allowed to have a chance because they are getting in the way of Smash Brothers Ultimate being the ultimate celebration of
yes,
gaming history.
of our glorious purpose and destiny.
Yes. I am personally indifferent. I literally have the character who I want the most now, and I'm officially satisfied with the roster. But best of luck to every single person watching this stream for their most wanted character. As for in terms of who I think we could see, when it comes to first parties, I think Pokemon's a possibility. I don't know if they would do Cinderace just because the previous two, like Switch era first parties, sorry, have been like deliberate subversions of expectations. So like we got Min Min instead of
Yeah.
Springman, and we got Pyramithra instead of Rex. So I think if we do get a Pokemon, there's a chance. I think there's a chance it would not be Cinderace, and it would instead be a Pokemon that people aren't concentrated on as much, like maybe Toxtricity or Zacian or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Zacian, by the way, is more of a Delzafin idea, not my idea.
if they're aware of the demand for the characters that they showed for Mii costumes, they're also aware of the blowback to another fire type starter. So
Yeah.
You never know. You
Yeah.
never know. They could just not care, which is
they
what
could
they
could just not care.
That's true. That's very true.
Outside of that, I think Euden's a possibility. I'm not sure what the rights for Dragalia Lost look like.
Oh,
But
that was gonna be mine because he's just the right type of disappointment.
Yeah.
Like exactly the right type of disappointment for the last character where you're like, I guess it makes sense. It's a new franchise.
It's
Maybe they want to bring some sort of version of the game over to Switch.
literally
He looks-
Corrin too.
Literally,
he looks-
it'd be like
he looks like he looks like Tales of Shulk. That's literally what he
does.
looks like.
That is my one issue with Gaiden. I don't play Dragalia, but I wouldn't mind him being in the game. But he does just look like medieval Shulk. Like,
Yeah,
it's the hair and everything.
He looks like exactly what people that hate anime sword characters think of and use as like a generic like approximation.
Yeah.
there is one other character I can think
He
of.
turns into a dragon though, and he turns into a dragon
more.
not like Korra. So that's good. Like it would be more like a metered thing where he just turns into a dragon, not like
it turns into a dragon. So he'd have like a sort of light anime sword fighter moveset, and then he'd have like a Charizard-esque moveset. That's like much stronger, and then you just jump between the two, I guess.
Okay, Leo, were you gonna bring up the same character I think you're gonna bring up?
Do it, Leo.
Most likely, but there is a character who I think who looks more like a medieval generic anime swordsman than Euden. His name is Adol Christian from the Ys franchise. This character actually has a lot of merit to be included in Smash Bros. He is the grandfather of all action RPG franchises, and Nintendo and Falcom seem to be strengthening their ties with one another. But if this character was implemented into Smash Bros., I don't think a lot of people would want to engage with him just on the basis of his character design being really generic and boring. No offense to
Yeah,
anybody who
and
wants the
I
character
think
to
based
be.
off of how the original games in that series were, if you just walk into people, you should attack them.
I was so I was my friends were big fans of Ys. I played the demo for the 9th game, and apparently they gave everybody Phantom Thief designs. Adol is slightly less generic now. But he's just now he's just like Joker too. So
Yeah,
It's even worse now.
But, like, don't get me wrong though. Like, Idol from Ys genuinely has a lot of merit, and I've listened to some of the Ys music, and there is like some good stuff in there. Well, at least there's that for me.
Most good game franchises though have a lot of good music. Like
That is true.
Yeah, nowadays it's very little games
Like-
that have bad music. To be honest,
like any one of the franchises we're talking about here is gonna be. But
listen,
yeah.
the fucking Quiet Man has good music.
But moving right along, I got sidetracked. The only other first party I think we could
hold
maybe
on,
see
Leo, you're
are,
taking,
Yeah, come on, come on.
you gotta
We
let
gotta-
other
we
people
gotta
have
go
their go. Yeah, both Spazzy and I haven't
more
gone
to
yet,
say.
technically.
I'll let you guys say it, then I'll just
Yeah, because
continue on
we
after.
might want to say the same one. If you want to go next, Spazzy.
Right.
Well, there's something that was said in the chat that I want to bring up, but I'll hold on to it in case you want to talk about it.
Mhm.
So, first party, I'm going to say that this pass has had a lot of ideas that were explored previously
Mhm.
that finally came to fruition. So, even though it's a franchise that isn't very relevant right now, and we don't know if there's anything in the works for it, I'm going to say Rhythm Heaven because we know it was worked on for Smash 4. So why not finally bring in some Rhythm Heaven content? We want this whole pass has also been about new types of gameplay styles. We still don't have a rhythm-based character. That franchise has awesome music. Why not? Somebody has to say Rhythm Heaven so that if it does happen, we can be like, yeah, profit.
I believe we discussed this in our predictions video way back last year, but the creator of Rhythm Heaven lost their voice.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
not sure about the future of that series.
Well, it depends. It depends if he gets his voice back or not. Really.
No, he had his vocal cords removed, I believe.
Did he?
Because he had throat cancer, and
he had throat cancer. Yeah, but I didn't know what like I don't know what its current status is. I guess what I'm trying to say, but I didn't think it was so bad that there wouldn't be any potential. Like the series would basically be dead. I guess who knows? That's something I have to look into.
My my most wanted right now, and I don't think they're that likely, is either Hayabusa, Ryu Hayabusa, because I like Ninja Gaiden a lot, and I think he would be interesting to play as, or any shooter that's not Jonesy. I don't even really have a huge problem with Fortnite. It's just not my thing. I'd rather have a more traditional first-person shooter, like Doom Guy or Master Chief, and I don't think either of those are happening. That's what I want. But I was thinking for third party, and I'm all like, man, Sakurai and Nintendo, they've been very trixies. They've been like, oh, here's Heihachi. You're not going to get any sort of Tekken rep, and then here's Gil, probably not even going to get an Namco rep. So here's my Galaxy Brain take.
Quick insert. Yes, he did have his vocal cords removed.
Okay, but he can still make music.
That's true. He can't sing, but he can still make music.
Yeah, the guy from Def Leppard lost his arm, and he still plays drums, man. Just as badly as he did before he lost his arm. So here's my Galaxy Brain take. We had a Mii costume for a character from a very big franchise. Maybe not one that people talk about for Smash, but a huge franchise, but not for the most popular character in that franchise. And that is Altair from Assassin's Creed. So what if that was just a misdirect and we get Ezio?
That would be really interesting.
Yo, we get Sonic twice. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Ezio. So someone has to say it, because if it does happen, then
You want to be
I'm
able
the
to
best.
claim it.
Yes.
I mean, with a very same sort of logic on this, although I don't think this will happen. We got Lloyd Mii costume, but that doesn't mean we won't get a Tales of Arise character, because that's
Yeah.
also coming out in the same way that Shin Megami Tensei.
No.
Yes.
There is one character who is banned from all Tales of popularity polls.
Oh yeah, I mean,
If we get anybody, it's gonna be Yuri.
Like that is still, the option is still out there, thanks to the Heihachi Tekken shenanigans that have been put forward. But for my picks, so I originally I was quite big on the we're gonna get like a Breath of the Wild 2 character, right? Because that seems like a game that they'd want to market and push and all of this jazz. But I was reminded yesterday when I was listening to Push's stream that Fighter Pass 2, the bonus you got for that was a Breath of the Wild Mii costume.
Yes.
And so now I'm starting to think, actually, maybe then that's what... Oh, it doesn't mean anything really, but maybe that's there because there's not going to be a Zelda
so the thing,
character, but they wanted some Zelda stuff in the Fighters Pass.
The thing about a Zelda promotional pick is that Breath of the Wild 2, the release date for next year, I've heard that's very shaky. So could not come out for 2 more years.
I would be very surprised at that.
I mean,
but,
you remember how many times the original got delayed?
I know, but you'd have hoped they'd have learned
Well,
that one.
It's not their fault really, because everything happened.
Yeah.
They lost. I think they lost a year of development. Zippo said.
We'll have to see on that one. But anyway, this is Breath of the Wild. What I'm just saying is Breath of the Wild isn't my thought anymore because of this. Because of the fact that there was the Mii costume that they added. But what I am thinking maybe, and this is sort of based again around rumors, is that Sakurai mentioned how it was going to be a while before, and that might not mean anything. But obviously the pertaining theory around this is that...
Wait, can you repeat that sentence? You cut out.
Oh, so Sakurai mentioned that it'll be a while before the final character, but it would still be this year. And that could obviously that could be as simple as, it's going to be 3 months. Please be patient, as usual Smash time. But there's obviously there's a theory around that this means that the Smash character, the reason it's going to be a while is because it's tied in with like another announcement. Like a game we might not have seen yet, or something like this. But there is also taking into account the fact that a lot of the Smash DLC is around building up relationships with other companies. Like, I feel that's what was chosen, so that Nintendo could strengthen their relationship with SNK. And a big reason why we're getting all these Bethesda Mii costumes, so that Nintendo can strengthen the relationship with Bethesda. So, like, with both of these in mind, and then the rumored potential Nintendo-Microsoft collab, I'm actually wondering if another Microsoft character is possible for the final pick.
That would
that it's going to be coming. The reason it's the last pick, because obviously people think the last pick's is never an exciting one, and people have written off Western characters because they would have been at E3. But if, say, I'm just going to say Master Chief was the last character, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to tie it in to something like a big Nintendo Xbox collab thing where they're like, Game Pass is coming to Switch, Master Chief Collection is coming to Switch, and Master Chief himself is coming to Smash as like one big announcement as part of this for the Nintendo side. And that would explain why it would be the last one, and why they wouldn't do it at E3 either. So I think that's a possibility there.
Sorry, the chat promotional pick The rumored Fire Emblem remake.
Yeah.
Imagine the last character, another Fire Emblem character. Yeah.
I said that on
you made
Twitter.
that exact joke on Twitter, didn't you?
Yeah. And my follow up to that was Sakurai being all like, for the first time ever, we're going to make one of our assist trophies into a playable character as part of this DLC cycle. And then the camera would turn towards Waluigi running towards the camera, and then Lynn popping up behind him and slapping him.
Oh man, that'd be great. But yeah, like so I'm kind of going back a bit to Master Chief now. This is obviously all sort of entirely based around a rumor of potentially a Microsoft Nintendo collab. But the fact that that is a thing that potentially could be happening, I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted that, because I know you could say, oh yeah, well they've already had Steve in Smash and they've already had Banjo, but you could also argue that that's really Rare and Mojang, just like how the Bethesda are really Bethesda and not Microsoft, even though Bethesda owns Microsoft. Like, I think they could be counted as different things. And so, yeah, I am going to be saying Master Chief, because otherwise I don't.
Diego,
a character we just don't know.
Diego in chat said, "Why do we have to bring Fire Emblem like a punchline in every single podcast?" Excuse me, if we bring a game in as a punchline every single podcast, it's definitely The Last of Us.
Yeah,
100%. I feel like we don't make Fire Emblem jokes that much.
No.
And the joke isn't even at the expense of Fire Emblem. The joke is at the expense of how salty Smash fans get at Fire Emblem.
It's always at the expense of Smash fans, because I'm usually the one who makes the Fire Emblem joke, and I'm a big Fire Emblem fan. So
yeah, I would be okay with another Fire Emblem.
As long as
they're not just the Lord.
I made the Lynn joke, but I actually would kind of like Lynn, although Lynn would be a little different. I honestly want somebody that's not. I just want somebody that's visually and mechanically distinct. Like, sorry, So I would prefer, if it wasn't a Fire Emblem character or a Pokemon character, I want something that adds a little bit more. But I wouldn't like hate it either.
Well, you see, right? Sigurd, he's riding a horse. That's distinct.
He's riding a horse.
And his stage could have fire everywhere. So you get the fire stage.
Dude, if I get a fire stage, we have it's called Fire Emblem. Where's the Fire Emblem?
Don't worry, you can get it with Sigurd to highlight his
the Fire Emblem is Corrin's sword, and it is on fire. So there you go.
Odd Doodle says it goes Last of Us, Quiet Man, Persona, Fire Emblem. You forgot Gex, but yes, that's pretty good.
No, I think Gex is higher in the hierarchy than Fire Emblem.
I think so too. Yeah.
Man, Gex is the last fighter would be.
So were you doing a first party and a?
My prediction was Master Chief. I just wanted to bring up the wild character.
Yeah.
Just say
Pokemon in general, just in case it does happen. We'll be like, well, we did say it on our podcast.
I really don't want a Pokemon to be there, unless it's like the Legends. Then that.
Yeah, and the weird
just be that you get 3 more characters instead of 1.
And I know that there's an entire generation of music, and there'd be a new stage, and like all Pokemon are pretty distinct, but like I don't know, there's just a certain feel of it that's. I'd want something that, introduces, they said introduces a whole new world, introduces something different feeling to Smash. That's kind of what I want, even if it's not third party, which is why something like Rhythm Heaven would be great. I want something that's new.
What if it's Dixie Kong and Bandana D as a duo?
What if it's Dixie Kong and Kiddy Kong instead? I know people would people like that because it's Dixie, or would people be petty and dislike it because Kiddy Kong tagged along?
You know what's funny?
I would actually really like that. I would really like that.
I feel like if they were going to do a duo, it would actually be Dixie and Funky, because technically you could do that in the new version of Tropical Freeze, and because people actually like Funky.
Yeah, but Sakurai's like a retro buff. and he really likes his old school games.
Yeah.
And so this way you'd get Donkey Kong Country 3, and then you'd have all 3 of the classic DKC games represented.
Yeah,
in
we have
Smash.
somebody brought up Fantasy Star online.
Mhm.
That's
And I wonder how much of these are people
possible.
actually thinking of things, and how many of them are like actually thinking, oh, this will be actually likely because of this, or just because it was in a leak for a little while. But Fantasy Star Online, I guess it does make sense. It's we don't have any big MMO
It's a
characters.
very big
Yeah.
game, especially in Japan.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
I think
I just
Ash
don't
would be a
know.
decent character.
Really? I'm not a big fan of Ash.
Yeah, but he's the one. He's the one that makes sense from there.
If you're gonna have any Fantasy Star character, I'd rather they do Alice. I mean, I know she's
Yeah, me too.
like
100%.
she's the original protagonist of Fantasy Star, and she was in the first Fantasy Star. So even if it's
Yeah.
not the same character, she's still there.
Yeah, I know. She's
I know.
like,
I just don't think of any real characters from the MMO.
yeah, I agree. And you know, like we both played for a podcast we were doing Fantasy Star
Mhm.
not that long ago. And I like Alice. I think Alice is a very cool character. But it feels like if you're, if they were gonna do something from Fantasy Star, it would be Fantasy Star Online. What about a Warcraft character? I could do an entire podcast on Warcraft characters.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's take suggestions from the chat, I guess. So
Oh
if you
wait,
guys have any,
wait, Nanton, who do you want?
Oh, who do I want?
Yes.
If I could have any character that I want that actually has a chance, so not Takamaru, because that would have been my pick. I kind of would still really like to get Arl from Puyo Puyo in the game.
Yes,
Base.
I think Sega has a chance. Like,
Yeah,
just have another third
Sega hasn't
party.
had one yet. Hasn't had a fighter since Joker, which is really Atlas, not Sega.
Yeah.
And we haven't really got a proper puzzle series character in there. We got Dr. Mario, but that doesn't really count because he doesn't do anything that's puzzle connected. Puyo Puyo is huge, like it's one of Sega's biggest series, and it would be visually distinct and also mechanically really interesting as well, which would fit with like every other character in Fighter Pass basically. So there are all these pluses towards Arl getting in. So I would really, really like her to still be there, to still have a chance. I just don't, I just don't feel it anymore. It could be. I'd be also okay with Doctor, but that's purely from
with
a.
who? You cut out again.
I sure said Eggman, right?
Yeah, Eggman, yeah.
Dr. Eggman, yeah.
Dr. Eggman, yeah.
I figured that one out from context.
He's the last. He's the last big video game antagonist that we do not have.
That's why. Like after getting Sephiroth, and that doesn't mean anything. But I was just kind of like, you know what, Eggman, I'd like to see him in there. It'd be interesting because there was actually a rumor back before Smash Ultimate came out that said that Eggman was going to be a boss character in the game, and then obviously he wasn't.
Yeah.
That rumor also said what Dr. Wily would be an assist trophy was.
What's funny is
I wonder if Eggman was considered at one point for something. Maybe they could revisit.
I mean, we just got Kazuya. Maybe our Resident Evil rep will be Wesker because he has superhuman powers.
He's a
spirit.
spirit.
Wesker's got a spirit, but what if it's Rebecca for that rumored Resident Evil game?
What if we get Ethan Winters as a Mii costume?
No,
but he has no face.
Yeah. His mask just puts a shadow over the Mii's face.
That'd be really funny.
But,
I mean, Resident Evil is another one, because obviously they had the Spirit event, so you'd think no. But if it's based around a specific Resident Evil game, then maybe. Or they just have they throw Nemesis in there.
But listen, okay, you're right, because they didn't include Claire's spirit, so it could be Resident Evil X Code Veronica. And then we get all of the spirits and characters from Code Veronica.
Oh my god, fucking Code Veronica.
Yeah, you got it. I see it.
Yeah, they're talking Blizzard characters in chat, and with the exception of Overwatch, which I guess Overwatch is still, I mean, it's funny because it's kind of like old game, nobody cares, but not really. It's still actually pretty big. It's just not as talked about as like much bigger games, like your Fortnites and whatnot have you. It would probably be Tracer from Overwatch. But if Blizzard got a character that was not Tracer, it would almost definitely be a villain. which is funny because we were just talking about villains too. Because StarCraft, which there was a StarCraft 64, would be Kerrigan, the Queen of Blades, which would be awesome because you get a female character, a villain, and like, crazy, swarmy bug lady that summons weird monsters and has blade attacks. She sounds cool.
Yeah.
From Warcraft, it might be Thrall, who's, just like Orc Jesus that has magical shaman powers. But like there's a good chance it could be Illidan or Arthas, like Arthas, the Lich King, who's like
Yeah, I was going to say, would it not be the Lich King? That's I feel like that's my first go-to for War.
Yeah. It would like there's like 3 or 4 characters, and I think Arthas has a good of a chance as anybody.
Tony says, "Lol, King Arthas, another anime sword fighter."
Yeah. And if you do Diablo, you would probably just use, the actual devil. Use Diablo.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think the Lich King would actually be cool. He would also be a cool Mii costume, because he has like kind of fun proportions and a full like a mask that I think that would cover a lot.
Yeah.
So you have the mask and wig. I think he would be good. Yeah, no, Lich King is probably my choice, even though he's one of those swords, like slow sword fighters, with a big ass sword. He also has ice magic and a lot of necromancy magic. So he'd be like he would be a summoning character, which we don't really have, where he would summon different things to just mess with you, like zombies and stuff.
Shin Megami Tensei. Somebody said Phoenix Wright. I don't think a visual novel character is happening anytime in the near future.
I feel like Phoenix Wright could happen as a Mii costume. Like, I think Ace Attorney is the next big Capcom series that doesn't have anything in at this point.
It's the one right behind Devil May Cry on my hierarchy.
It's getting obviously another game this year.
Dead Rising technically has sold more copies than it.
What?
I said Dead Rising is technically a better selling series.
Yeah, but like Dead Rising's not getting another game this year. So
no. I know it's more in the spotlight, and it's
Dead Rising. Smash inclusion.
Yeah, and Onimusha. I'm just trying to be clear.
Onimusha is getting a new game, but not yet.
Yeah. I'm just saying that because I did this yesterday once again on Bush's podcast. If it is the 9th best selling, which is pretty good Capcom game, but it's 9th. I just think it's weird to get something before Resident Evil. That's the thing for me.
Yeah, no, it would be quite surprising. I feel like I almost feel like a Resident Evil character was considered, and they just weren't able to pull it off satisfactory level.
Like, I've heard they tried to do Jill,
and something happened,
and they didn't. It was base game also.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all, to be honest. But yeah, I think Leo's still in the call.
Still here.
Yes, I'm alive. It's just that people get talking.
Yeah, patiently listening in. Well, yeah. But anyway, just a Phoenix. I think being a visual novel character means that it's not. It's unlikely to happen. Sakurai commented on Ayumi's chances in Smash being low because she's a visual novel character, and it'd be weird. Arrow says if visual novels don't have a chance, throws out the entire Fate franchise. Well, Fate has like multiple games in multiple different genres. Also, it's not the fact that it's a visual novel specifically. It's a
visual novel with a character that doesn't fight.
Yeah, like Phoenix doesn't fight. He's not
Phoenix
someone
doesn't
who
fight. Ayumi doesn't fight. Yeah,
yeah. Like if Von Karma was the Francisco Von Karma then maybe.
No. I'm thinking old man Von Karma. He just taser everyone. Just like that'd be
the gun.
The Final Smash. Oh man, he just fucking executes his opponent and then leaves.
Yeah. An elevator just comes down and traps them.
Oh no.
But yeah, no.
Uh,
I think that's the problem. I think Phoenix Wright though is a potential costume because I think they could just do a fun me brawler.
Yes.
Phoenix, but I don't see it being a character
Mhm.
at all.
Crash Bandicoot. Crash is dead.
Crash me costume could happen. I'm not confident he'll be playable.
Yeah,
Anymore.
if Crash was the last fighter in Smash, Activision wouldn't be shelving all plans for new Crash games. Because if they were actually planning a future for Crash, there would be a promotion for Smash. Like, I just Crash Bandicoot fans, they don't listen. I'm sorry.
Uncle Richard said, "What about Andy from Advance Wars as a sort of promotion for Advance Wars?"
That's a wild card pick, but that's I'm for it.
Here's the thing.
I don't know if
it's not being handled by an internal studio.
Wait,
right.
The Advance Wars, no, just the Wars trophy, is that still gone?
I think it's still gone. The orange star code, I think it is. Yeah, I'll quickly Google it, but I don't remember seeing it in the game. So yeah, I think so. Would they go with Andy or would they go with Sammy?
No, they would go with Andy. The only reason people bring up Sammy is because Sammy was worked on as a clone character for Snake in Project M.
No, that's not quite true because Sammy was talked about before. The reason they went with Sammy in Project M is because she was talked about in Smash Speculation. The reason people go with
a similar build.
Well, that just benefited it. The reason that people go with Sammy is because her gimmick in Advance Wars is that she's the on-foot infantry character. So she would, whereas Andy is like vehicular based and Max is artillery based. So if there was any of them that would actually be able to fight, it would be Sammy because she's the one who has the gun in her artwork and is the one who actually fights close combats without a vehicle.
Yeah,
he would be the Kazuya.
This is obviously back in Brawl
Heihachi
before like movesets would get really fucking weird. So they could always have Andy just summon tanks, but that was why Sammy. That's the reason why Sammy is always talked about.
So like, chat. You do realize that Oda Nobunaga would be the character that breaks the no video game rule.
Oda Nobunaga is real?
Whoa. Lu Bu is real?
I feel like Lu Bu from Dynasty Warriors might get around it via a technicality of the fact that it's a video game real character.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly not like the historical version of Lu Bu, because it's some like crazy anime dude with a Poliard or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I'm.
And Dr. Kawashima is an assist trophy in Smash, and he's a real person. So.
And they've taken stuff from the Pokemon anime, like
video game depictions of real people count. Then, all right. So, Tony Hawk.
They definitely take things straight.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Spazzy?
I said they've definitely taken stuff from like Advent Children, which.
I'm surprised you're saying Tony Hawk and not like the fact that every major world leader from the Civilization games would be on the table.
Yo, Gandhi, nuclear Gandhi.
Oh
yeah.
I still want Abe from Codename Steam, but you know what are you gonna do?
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln with his giant mecha Lincoln robot would be great.
Yeah, not only that, but Dracula is definitely from a book, and he's based on a historical figure.
Okay.
Yeah, and that book is canon to the Castlevania universe.
I'm seeing how that logic falls apart. Okay, so Nuclear Gandhi's Fighter 11. You heard it here first.
Let's go,
guys. I want to say this right now.
The assist trophy. It was cut as an assist trophy in Ultimate. It's as a spirit though.
I want to say this right now because I just want to piss a lot of people off. Crash is objectively a worse pick than Spyro. I just want to say that.
It's true.
Spyro has moveset potential. I think Spyro has better music. Fight me.
It's true.
Yeah, I agree. But
And then I can
well.
finally do my squad strike of all dragons.
Let's see. Is there any other characters that people have brought
I've
up?
not really had a chance to talk about the other candidates.
I'm gonna say, yeah. Do you want to? You could
Go ahead.
chime in, Leo.
Go ahead
What do you
while
wanna say?
we're waiting for people.
Stop playing Smash and
Crash Bandicoot. The novelty is cool. I think in terms of moveset, I'm not really sure what you could do with him that has not already been done. As I've said though, the novelty is really good, so like I can get on why people want him, and I want him in for that novelty as well. Doom Guy would be really cool, but it's realistically Nintendo did not want to see Mario's face be blown off with a shotgun. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think any of the other companies that are represented in Smash don't want to see their characters being blown off, have their faces being blown off with shotguns either.
Yeah, we're talking about Advance Wars,
Okay,
but
okay.
we also saw a new WarioWare that was also announced.
yeah,
So-
there was a new WarioWare. Yeah,
Yes.
Ashley.
Ashley's
Oh, no, she's already
Ashley's
in
a
Assist
very
Trophies.
popular
Mona,
pick,
man.
but she is in
Mona.
Assist
Mona, yeah.
Mona.
All right,
Mona
it is.
instead of Ashley.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Cat
okay.
and Anna were cut as an assist trophy.
I
Yeah.
wanna just bring this up momentarily that
Okay.
Sony doesn't play ball. Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
is a 0% chance. Any Sony character, 0.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well,
Ratchet and Clank would be pretty fun.
Yes, the new Rabid from Mario and Rabbids 2. That was definitely what we're gonna get.
Yes, emo rabid.
There's a cult following of people who want Team Fortress characters to be in Smash Brothers. They've managed to set up this website known as the globalsmashroster.com. They have managed to rally to get their community to get Heavy to be the most wanted character, and if you scroll down, you'll like slowly find the other Team Fortress 2 classes. Like I think like Soldier and Scout are like very close to being on the top row. The top column, I can't remember what it's organized like, but and I think that's like extremely unrealistic. But hey, if Nintendo are paying attention to like a lot of these weird fan polls, then who knows? Maybe they'll listen and make Heavy. It's the heavy weapons guy. The last
Oh my
character.
god.
That would be a wild last character.
Yeah.
I've seen League of Legends being brought up a couple times. Here's the thing. I don't know anything about League of Legends, so I don't know if anyone else does, but I don't.
That's all I know.
Talk about it.
That's a MOBA.
All right, Mr. Mind says Agumon or War Greymon, or I guess just Digimon. We can round that up too.
I don't know. I feel like it's weird to get two Namco characters back to back.
Yeah, that's my only issue with Agumon. Agumon would have been a great pick, just to have the Pikachu versus Agumon like fight finally. It's like Cloud versus Link.
It's funny, and I do think that Namco's next character probably is a Tales of character, but I don't think they like if there was another Fighters Pass, then maybe. But
yeah. But I would have been cool with Agumon. Granban said Monokuma, especially with Danganronpa coming out on Nintendo finally. I don't see it happening. I mean, Spike Chunsoft rep could be interesting. I don't really know enough about Monokuma to know what he could do in the game.
Monokuma can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, it doesn't feel to me like a fighter pass character. Yeah,
Danganronpa fans get really upset about spoilers. Don't say the thing.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, especially because I don't want to be spoiled. Because I will actually probably play this one out on Switch finally. Someone said Rabbids 2 character.
Yeah, the emo.
I guess. I mean, we technically already had the Rabbids Mii costume, but if it was like Rabbids Peach or this new
the emo Rabbid
OC Rabbid, I guess
Lulubu did a Lulubu did a like a Venn diagram of characters.
Yeah, I saw
that. Yeah, it was fantastic. Also, I think my the best part of that was parts of the Venn diagram that overlapped were Dante and Crash. And then the character in there was Sly Cooper, and I'm like, yeah, Yeah, that's correct. I would have never thought of that, but that's good job.
Rayman is a character who technically hasn't been deconfirmed yet, just
True.
because we know spirits
So-
are still on the table.
So
I'd like him. I think the Rayman's probably your best bet if you want like a platformer character from a moveset perspective, because the limblessness trait I think could offer like some genuinely really interesting stuff. I just don't know if Nintendo are gonna go for it this time, especially because
yeah,
like, Ubisoft
Rayman.
aren't doing anything with him, and
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like they're going to be doing anything anytime soon, considering the guy left the company.
Going into
Yeah.
the pass, I thought that Rayman was likely because of the Altair costume. But a lot of stuff has happened with Rayman since then. A lot of it, including not getting anything. Like no games.
I want to say this about Rayman, which I think is interesting to take into account. We know that the Smash 4 ballot was used for this game.
Yeah.
And so they have a ton of data from that game. That ballot happened right after Artsy Omni's Rayman leak.
Yes.
So at that point, Rayman was on everybody's mind. So I feel like Rayman probably overperformed in that ballot by a lot.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind.
Definitely.
Astral Chain character would complete the sandwich of torture for me. You got Joker on one side and then Akira Howard on the other.
I like Astral Chain. So.
Listen,
I understand.
there are aspects of Astral Chain that are good. The main character is one of those aspects that is objectively bad.
Character is fine. They're just a blank slate, really. I'm not talking about Akira. I'm talking about the actual protagonist.
No, I'm talking about them.
I think the protagonist is fine. They're just a blank avatar.
The thing is
but
that
not an avatar.
they're written in a story that is so painfully obvious that it should have a character, but they're so insistent that they need to be silent. And then they just break it by having the monologue over the post-credits scene. So
that is really strange. But I mean, Astral Chain 2 might not have anything to do with Platinum anymore, so maybe they'll change that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Platinum is so fucked right now that the moment one of their games that they made with Nintendo was actually successful, they just took that fucking IP from them.
It's so weird. I don't know what's going on exactly with
because the other games underperformed. Star Fox Zero didn't even chart.
I don't count Star Fox Zero as a Platinum game.
That didn't have anything to do with them. I mean,
that was all Nintendo.
Still, it was part of their partnership.
Yeah.
The Wonderful 101 is a game that was made and then brought back out of pure stubbornness and failed financially both times. They are kind of embarrassing right now.
Yeah, Platinum's not in a.
It's kind of like the opposite situation of Koei Tecmo and their relationship, where I think part of the reason that Koei Tecmo won't get a character is because their relationship with Nintendo is too good and too successful. Everything they do for them,
dude. Nintendo, the Hyrule Warriors, like single-handedly increased Koei Tecmo's like legitimacy in the industry.
Yeah, but not only that, but they also like basically made Three Houses. Like they have such a good relationship that it doesn't really need to be strengthened right now.
Yeah, there were only 16 Intelligent Systems employees on Three Houses. It was written by the Fire Emblem Warriors writer. What the fuck is going on?
So you know what? Third party hasn't seen a newcomer during DLC, and you don't see it talked about a lot. Is Konami. So.
Because Goemon is already in Miko.
Yo,
get
Tsufuma, let's fucking go.
Listen, we're talking about the highest grossing Konami IP of all time. Is Dance Dance Revolution.
Yo,
shit.
So,
let's go beat Mania
from DDR. Let's go have our rhythm rap.
A Beat Mania character would be based. A rhythm character based on like anything that you'd find in a Japanese arcade would be based. Just the
Okay.
pure insanity
Okay.
that one of those characters would have to act
Listen.
like.
Listen, you can blame the Wii U for the Wonderful 101 failing the first
Konami does
time,
own for
but you cannot blame the Wii U for it failing the second time.
I mean, but did it really fail the second time? Because it was a
Yeah, no,
Kickstarter and it passed
did.
all its goals.
So they did the Kickstarter, but it turned out to cost them more money to actually, print the game, make the game, send the game. It cost them more money than they actually made in the Kickstarter to put the game out there. So it ended up being a net negative in terms of profit.
That's hilarious. Here's the thing about Wonderful 101. I've heard that the demo from Wii U is bad, but I played it and I said, I don't want to play this game anymore.
The problem with the Wonderful 101 is it's a good game, but it's clearly designed for the Wii U, and it's kind of like Star Fox Zero, but not nearly as egregious. In that once you actually get into the game, once you're willing to get used to the controls, it's actually really good. The second half of Wonderful 101, both from gameplay and story, is really good. It's just such a slow burn to get into that game. That I feel like you're right. People would play the demo and just not feel it, and then just not pick it up because of that.
Unlike a lot of action games, the Wonderful 101 starts really weak.
Yeah. The second half of that game is great. The first half is very average to bad. I stopped playing the Wonderful 101 because I wasn't enjoying it, and I only started playing it again because my friend finished it and said it was great, and I trusted his opinion on it, so I decided to get back into it, and he was right. It was great after the second half of the game.
See, Astral Chain, we were talking about, starts off really strong, and then gets really, really monotonous. Then is really good for like the last chapter.
Yo, that last chapter, I think that sucked all the life out of me.
I like that they just like kept introducing new mechanics, and I'm like, all right, now I can play this.
Like a new mechanic in like the final stage
chapter.
I like the end of Astral Chain, even if it's a complete rip-off of Evangelion.
That final boss. That final boss is something. It's so fucking. Fucking Astral Chain just goes overboard in all the wrong areas.
Here's the thing: we don't like the development for Bayo 3 is I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
That game definitely restarted development, and we know this for certain because the director just fucking left Platinum in 2019.
Yeah, so... the director left and they restarted. I mean, I'm assuming that game we will probably see it next year, unless it's had even.
If that, I think that game will overperform. Just based on the fact that it's on the Switch. So, and if it does, then all of a sudden,
Bayonetta 1 and 2 weren't very successful on the Switch. So the thing,
but I feel like some people already bought it on Wii U. I don't know.
Astral Chain took more than 6 years to make. Think about that.
Yeah, okay.
But that's fine. But what's
Bayonetta 3 will be the Game of the Year 2025.
I think we'll see it before then. I think at the very least, it being from an existing franchise means, and already having like an engine there with Bayonetta 2 and all that means that they'll probably be able to speed up some of that development. Like the whole reason that they cancelled development and restarted it in the first place for Bayonetta 3 is just simply because they didn't like the direction that the game and the story was going. The gameplay was fine, apparently. It was literally just that whatever story they had come up with, they didn't like it. And obviously, with the story, they've made assets, and if they were going to start and scratch that again, a lot of those assets couldn't be used. And
Chat.
That's why it's then taking so long.
Kamiya only did Bayonetta 1.
Yeah, Kamiya only did Bayonetta 1. Kamiya's making that kaiju game.
The director of Bayonetta 2 was also the director of Star Fox Zero. And
is he the director?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
On the PlatinumGames side, at least, he was the director.
No, okay.
And he was presumably still the director for Bayonetta 3, and he left.
It's Platinum aren't in the best of places.
My favorite part about Platinum Games, and we've gone on a huge fucking tangent because I'm angry about Astral Chain, but Platinum Games started with people from Clover Studio angrily leaving Capcom because Capcom wouldn't let them make the games that they wanted to make because they didn't do well financially. You start a business based on that premise. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? I have looked through credits, Moby Games. It seems like a lot of Platinum's most talented staff are just working at Capcom now.
They just went back.
They just went back.
Oh boy.
I mean, Platinum's made some great stuff, though. You know,
Platinum's made some great stuff,
made some great stuff and has also made some garbage.
They've been
I love that Transformers game, by the way. It's
the last half decade, Platinum's been a fucking mess, apparently.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if their Nintendo partnership has something to do with it, because every game they made on their Nintendo is a financial failure.
Except for Astral Chain.
Yeah, except for Astral Chain, but it's not theirs anymore, LOL.
Yeah. So what happens to the Bayonetta?
I mean, it's definitely not just that, because I mean, Scalebound has definitely had a big impact.
Yeah, Scalebound. There was that Grand Blue Fantasy game that they get kicked off of.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, and some of their licensed stuff was garbage. The Ninja Turtles game was mediocre. The Avatar game was bad.
Like the Grand Blue Fantasy game. The Grand Blue Fantasy game looked really, really high budget, and they just kicked them off. So much money was probably spent on that, and they just fucking kicked them off.
Yeah, Babylon's Fall as well is a game that's obviously been into.
It
looks like they're just trying to get that out to have something out because they can't afford to have another game be cancelled.
Yeah, their only real win in recent memory was Nier. That was it.
Yes, and that was more a win for Square Enix because they decided they didn't need Platinum anymore to remake the first game, and they got a studio that remade the first game, and the gameplay is better than Automata.
Here's the thing. So they had a lot of success with Platinum with Nier. When it came to making an action-oriented game based in the Final Fantasy franchise, they went to Team Ninja. So that's another win for Tecmo.
Big win for Tecmo Koei.
Yeah, they're on the up and up.
Already
from a high spot,
but here's the thing about that Final Fantasy Origin, as maybe as it's been, it went from people hating it because it was so stupid to people kind of starting to love it because of the memes. It's really weird.
Oh yeah, but the Final Fantasy community has adopted Chaos Man as their angry little isekai boy.
Listen, Shingo, you are wrong about Platinum doing better than Retro Studios. You have to keep in mind that Retro Studios, while they only made one game in the last decade, that game sold very, very well.
Yeah.
And they're constantly helping Nintendo and other things. Like
they're also owned by Nintendo. Nintendo
it's like Monolith. First of all, Monolith's games, the Xenoblade games do fairly well. They sell a couple million units. That's fine. That's it's like Fire Emblem territory. A little bit less, but it's approaching that. But more than that, they work on like every fucking Nintendo game.
Yeah. Nintendo basically bought them while they were going bankrupt so that they would have staff to farm out for all of their games.
Yeah. The only real comparison you can bring up between Platinum and Retro is the fact that whenever they do release like an original game, I guess, it's usually critically successful, if not commercially, but at least like Bayonetta 2 and stuff was all rated very highly.
Mm-hmm.
But also the fact that they always keep coming up with projects that seemingly get cancelled.
Oh, I like Platinum Games. I just don't like Platinum Games. And, that sentence makes sense when you realize that almost nobody who made the first few, like, really good Platinum Games games up until like 2012, is no longer working at Platinum Games. So,
Rip Mad World.
yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're all excited that going back to Retro, that Retro Studios is making Metroid Prime. When
Actually, a lot of the people are still there.
the guy who directed the game definitely.
Yeah, the guy who directed the original
not the
Metroid
director,
Prime
but
games
most of the
definitely
people who made the game, like programmers and artists, they're still there.
The funny thing about Platinum though is if Bayo 3 comes out and is a hit, then the entire narrative will change. If Bayo 3 bombs,
if Bayonetta 3 comes out and is a hit, Nintendo will seal the deal and take the IP from them.
I mean, they can't because they got to take it from Sega.
Sega.
They will take it from them and give it to Sega.
Like, here, Sega, we got you a present.
Yo, Sega, we're giving you the rights to Bayo 2 and 3. Don't let Platinum near another game.
What's that? Okay, let's circle back. So what does that say about the future of Bayonetta and Smash Brothers?
I think Nintendo wants a return on their investment. They've not gotten it through games. They're going to promote the shit out of Bayonetta through Smash Brothers as much as they can.
I mean, I don't think Bayonetta's coming back in a Smash Brothers game, personally.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm very sure about that. I feel like in the next Smash Brothers game is absolutely got to cut down on the characters in order to have new characters. And I feel like all the third-party characters are the first to go back. And you can't tell me that Bayonetta is one of the top choices to come back.
It's fair.
The third-party pool.
I think the only third parties that I'd feel comfortable saying are safe are like Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man.
Pac-Man's 100%. I think Kazuya's safe too, because it would be Bandai Namco.
Well,
yeah, I feel like they'd stick. I
think Ryu as well. I think Ryu as well, because if you get Mega Man, you might as well get Ryu.
I mean, I feel like they might go for Ryu over Mega Man. I
don't know, because Mega Man is such like a Smash.
They could probably get
he
both.
He is, but now that Ryu's in the game, they could certainly get both. I don't think they would go for both, at least not for base game.
Yeah,
Capcom is very friendly with Nintendo. They could just get both.
Yeah, but like again, I think they got to limit it at some point, and I feel like it makes more sense to put.
Yeah, but both characters have a lot of history. So
I think talking about the next
Smash,
I think talking about the next Smash right now is kind of a fruitless effort.
It absolutely
way
is.
off the fucking rails.
That's fine.
Should we start?
It'll probably be like in 6 years. It might not have Sakurai.
Right,
it might be anything. It might be a tennis simulator at this point. I don't know. It might be Super Smash Tennis.
All right,
Super Smash Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Nice spike.
Before we start wrapping up, does the chat have any more characters that you want to hear our thoughts about? Because I'm sorry, I'm fucking sorry. Astral Chain just ignites a fire within me.
I do think Simon Belmont is more likely to come back than
Snake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
100%. I think Snake's only here because everyone is here.
Yeah,
just for the record, I am still here.
He's still alive. Just needed to make sure.
I think we're gonna, for the next 15 minutes, we'll just let Hyleo talk to catch up with what we said.
What are your thoughts on Platinum Games?
My thoughts on Platinum Games. Bayonetta 1 was alright. Bayonetta 2 was alright. Wonderful 101 was alright. That's my thoughts. I need to play Rising Revengeance again to see what I think about it.
Oh god,
Platinum gets a certified alright.
Oh fucking okay. One last aside. So I was participating in Ninja Gaiden 3 CBT earlier this morning, and I was fighting the first robot boss, and I was streaming it to Discord chat because they motivate me to keep going. And that first robot boss, somebody put Rules of Nature on a music bot, and fucking the chorus, the Rules of Nature scream, happened right when I stabbed the boss and killed it. and that was
Was
that
it?
was incredible.
That was it.
Yeah.
So someone said,
1 second.
someone in the chat said Frisk. Diego did, and I guess this is
Yeah, I said
considering you
Undertale.
said Undertale, yeah.
Yeah,
Matt,
Frisk.
what are your thoughts?
Frisk is the only character left. They would not pick Papyrus. They wouldn't pick Flowey.
Metaton. Let's
They,
go. Robot Metaton in his
shit.
big square form.
Here's a
Yo.
question: do you think the Mii costumes for the next fighter will be related to that fighter, or do you think it'll be more like consolation
well, we
prizes?
didn't get a single Bandai Namco costume for
Yeah.
this one, so
Well, we got Lloyd.
Oh well, fuck. You're right.
Yeah, we got one.
I
but
forgot.
We didn't get any new ones.
I forgot about Lloyd. So I think Doom Guy's coming.
I'd be happy with a Doom Guy Mii costume. I mean,
I
think it'd be very funny.
Ryu
I think it'd be very funny to make.
Hayabusa Mii costume seems likely to me.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
And I'm sad. I'm sad because they're gonna make him a Mii sword fighter, but the Izuna drop is more important than the dragon sword.
I just, man, here's something. I know a lot of people just hate Mii fighters, but I think Mii fighters should be approved upon for the next game, and that you should be able to pick taunts for them. That you should be able to pick winning animations for them.
Yeah, I don't like that the costumes are locked to classes. Because Ryu Hayabusa is both a sword fighter and a brawler. He is in 2 different franchises.
Yeah.
And the brawler has the Izuna drop.
Mm-hmm. It would be nicer to mix and match. It'd be nice to have a few more, maybe just cut down on the class system entirely and you mix and match.
Well, no, because I think it's good to have a set of normals that uses projectiles instead of normals.
That Dante is literally all Mii fighter types. It's true.
Like,
maybe mix and match the specials then.
The specials, yeah. Like, what if instead of, like, I know they're like, oh, but you shoot it with your gun. I'm all like, yeah, but you could like shoot it with whatever. Like, I think it would be cool if, instead of having 3 specials for each type, you had, like, I don't know, 12 specials for each one, but it works for all of the Miis. Like, I'm still upset that, like, Bomberman, like, especially because they cloned so many specials, like, if, like, Link's down B was available, I'd have a bomb as Bomberman. Wouldn't that be great? Like,
yeah.
That would be good. All right, shall we start wrapping things up then?
Let me look. Mortal Kombat's not possible. Those games are fucking banned in Japan. They don't even release there. Like, they wouldn't be able to release there.
That's so weird to me because there's other violent games that are. It's just the history of that series at this point.
No. I think the original games did, but
the original games are in Japan.
The new games where it's literally it's I don't know how to describe it. It's disgusting and horrifying. That shit would not fly in Japan ever.
No, the new Mortal Kombat is too far.
I've played the new Mortal Kombat. They're super over the top.
They zoom in on spines breaking, skulls breaking.
The X-ray moves and stuff. I have played Mortal Kombat. I get it. It just seems weird that that's like the game too far. But you know what it is, because it's super gory and gruesome, but it's almost like a trauma film. Like it's because it's so over the top. It's like you don't take it seriously as violence. You know what I mean?
It's just like somewhat. I know it's over the top, but the bones breaking and all that is also very sort of realistic.
They got people to look at real dead bodies to make that shit.
Yeah. So.
Shingo said Captain N, and I mean that would be great, but it's not happening.
Shin Megami Tensei is possible, but I don't think it's in the cards.
I don't think Captain N is even possible for a Mii costume because I'm sure that license is still with like Dick Animation. But that would be an awesome.
I kind of want to find that out. It's one of the things I really want to find out if dick animation, or if it's actually
Listen,
with Nintendo.
TA
Right, because they had the
channel,
comic book, so I don't know.
TA channel. Don't hinge it on if the protagonist is in Smash. Buy Shin Megami Tensei 5. It looks like a fantastic game.
Yeah, it does look like a very good game, actually. Soul Bad Guy. I mean, after having two fighting characters in the past, I mean, I wouldn't mind Soul, but I kind of.
In fairness,
Don't really want.
people constantly point out the fact there's like loads of RPG characters
Mhm.
that
I
come in
mean,
via the DLC.
Yeah,
I
like
guess,
there were
yeah.
RPG characters back to back in the first pass.
That's true. That is true.
And this pass, to be fair.
Oh, this pass too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. My mind keeps going back to the fact that we've had characters that this entire pass has been characters that we talked about a lot, but then kind of forgot about and dismissed.
Other
That's
than
why I'm thinking-
Sephiroth. We never talked
But
about
even-
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth was talked about before base game when we were talking about the second Square Enix rep. He was
Okay.
part of that list that Bridgman
Okay.
brought out, so it was talked about.
Yeah, that was before my
Loads.
time, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like the last character is going to be one of those characters where, like, oh my god, why did we stop talking about blah? You know?
Tekken and Minecraft again.
Yeah, exactly.
I
That's just
wish
my
I wish we got the Tekken video out faster. You know.
The last
Yeah,
pass, that's
same.
my fault, to be honest.
Same.
I'm just glad it
Yeah.
wasn't
A lot
Ninja
of stuff
Gaiden.
had to get taken out. Like there was like I started like making that with like a big moveset, and like I showed Jex. They was like, "No, you have to take most of this out." I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a 40-minute video. I was like, I'm not doing.
Yeah,
There's not enough time to do this.
Fucking all my alt contents are so fucking long, and it's kind of really funny because I get people in the comments sometimes saying, "Oh, you went through this stuff really quick. It didn't last as long as the other videos." And I'm like, this video is double the length of the average alt content. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that Ninja Gaiden one was pretty long, but I still could have put more stuff in there. The Matt and I were talking about this, Jex. I think that we can, and I'll share this with our Good Morning Source Gaming fans, that once Smash is wrapped up, we can still go on and do all content videos with the thought of for a future Smash game. And the best part is we don't have to do spirits.
No spirits. No fucking spirits.
That's true.
That's
We have to
always
experience all
the
classic
most
mode.
time consuming, and
Yeah.
like making those spirit graphics that we've been doing for the last dozen or so all content videos. That's what takes the longest. Of
And I don't know. And you
all
guys in the
these
comments
videos.
could you guys in the comments here can let me know. It's like my least favorite thing to write,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's a thing that people care the least about.
So I get people saying that they like when we do clever references or like when we do something creative.
Yeah.
I try to make the spirits also entertaining for people who
Yeah,
don't watch
fun.
it. If you have seen the Ninja Gaiden and the SMT ones, and in the Ninja Gaiden one, Spazzy of all people suggested a Dealway Extreme Beach Volleyball Spirit, and so in the fucking stage panel, I just show because I don't have any of those games, I just show Dead or Alive 5 the beach stage with Ayane because she's the spirit, and Mai Shiranui because we're not good boys and girls. In the SMT video, I introduce the Mothman spirit, and then I say he doesn't exist, and then the X-Files theme starts, and then it's just to the next spirit. Like he disappears. It zooms in black and white. Like,
yeah, I do miss trophies, by the way. The Arrow was saying that. I'm like, yeah, like spirits are all right. I feel like if spirits at least had like some descriptive text, some flavor text, I would
Yeah,
like them more.
that'd be my one change because I miss spirit. I miss trophies. Even.
I think
I like that spirits allow for more characters to be represented, more series to be represented, and they can it's easy enough for them to keep updating it. Like we wouldn't get like trophy events like we've been getting spirit events.
Yeah, the thing is, I think the reason they did spirits is because they'd have to translate the descriptions into every language.
Yeah,
that is
definitely the
why.
reason.
It's just a lot more work to do.
Yes,
but it would still be nice.
I would,
even if it's just like a sentence.
Listen, I would like trophies back. Even if it's just the model. Model in the name. That's like I liked rotating those models and looking at them.
Yeah,
and that's something I miss.
I remember looking at the Pit model in Melee and being all like, "Oh man, why isn't he in this game?" And then he was in the game, but he looked very different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you love the spirits make believe battles. Thank you. We do those.
In general chat right now, I want you to see this while we're on the stream.
Yes.
Shadowlink. In general chat on the Source Gaming Discord, there is Eric just posted an image that I feel like you need to see. It's a 4th of July fireworks image.
Well, that was my table.
All right, I gotta download this image and put it on the screen.
Do it.
Hold on.
Very important.
All right, stream. So, for your illegal fireworks needs, we have a very you can get a very, very special set, and this joke would be a lot better if OBS did not stop responding. I am surprised that the stream works when that's happening. It just everything freezes and I get terrified. It's happened 4 times during this stream and that worries me.
Man, you guys must be ready to leave because I got here an hour later than you guys and I'm being like, "Oh, it's starting to go a little long, isn't it?"
Yes. I just need to show. Yeah, so here's the fireworks that you should be getting.
Any minute now.
Killer value.
Yeah.
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Yeah.
Excellent.
That
is. I mean, if I was at a store buying fireworks, I would have to buy that one.
Yeah, that's the one I'd go for too. You know. Good marketing.
All right, man.
Good packaging.
I can't wait to talk to you guys in 6 years about what's going to be in the next Smash Brothers game.
Do you need gunslinger style to use these fireworks?
Just say it'll be 6 years from now. It could be like 2 years from now if like he's just automatically put on the next Smash game.
It's funny because
they just automatically they take Sakurai's chair and then move it to a different office room in Namco, and they're like, "Okay, get going." They wheel him out.
It's funny because there's actually a move in Devil May Cry called fireworks.
It would be tragic for like people who want Smash speculation to be over, but it's something I could genuinely see them doing.
I think it's going to be a while. I think they're going to save Smash till the next console.
I hope it's a while. I want to see Sakurai work on a different game.
Look how long they rode Mario Kart Deluxe for. They're not going to do another Smash.
Even if Sakurai's next game is Smash, I hope there's a sizable gap so that man gets some fucking rest.
Yeah, and I'd like him to do something else, man.
He can finally do Yusuke's social link in Persona 5. You know, he'll have the time for it.
Yes. All right, guys. Is Nintendo still here? I haven't heard him talk in a while.
He's muted right now.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
no, I'm still here. I had an Amazon parcel arrived.
Okay.
Thank you all for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon. The link is in the description. It helps us pay for web hosting and get games that the companies don't give us. If you also liked the video, you can literally like the video and subscribe. Maybe tell people that we do this podcast semi-infrequently every few weeks. Hope to see you next time. Always remember to return to the source.
Bye, guys.
Like,
Bye.